And welcome to tonight's installment of the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. The Montgomery Sports Network is your destination in the River region of Alabama for the best in high school sports coverage, from live broadcast of full games to on-demand replays to game highlights. It's all right here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Tonight we are in Wetumpka, Alabama, Hohenberg Stadium, for a matchup between the Benjamin Russell Wildcats and the homestanding Wetumpka Indians. Before we start off with the pregame show and get to the keys to tonight's game, here are a few words from our sponsors.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company, and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
Montgomery's new at-work station is 96.1 KISS FM.
Hey, soul sister, ain't that this
The biggest and best playlist and long sets of non-stop music.
But I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell.
96.1 KISS FM.
Send my love to you,
Just the music you know and love.
don't stop.
Montgomery's new at-work radio station.
Kiss FM.
It was 1917. Charlie Chaplin appeared as the Little Tramp, Walt Disney graduated from high school, and Woodrow Wilson was re-elected president. And in Montgomery, Chris's sold their very first hot dog. Move forward to the 1950s. Hank Williams was hanging out at Chris's. Up through the 70s and 80s, many stars and politicians discovered Montgomery's little secret. Jump ahead to the new millennium. Riverwalk Stadium, the alleyway, and the new downtown. It's now 100 years later, and Chris's is still serving their world-famous hot dogs at 138 Dexter Avenue. How long has it been since you've tasted the city's most famous hot dog? Make Chris's part of your family history. Still family-owned and operated, Chris's makes every hot dog and hamburger to order. Take Chris's to your next party or event. Call-in orders are welcome. Online at chrishotdogs.com and on Facebook. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition.
Experience the history of the first country music superstar and see how Hank Williams transformed country music and sowed the seeds of what was to become American music. Visit the Hank Williams Museum, nestled in historic downtown Montgomery, Alabama. The Hank Williams Museum is one of the top tourist attractions in Alabama. Museum hours are 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday, and 1 to 4 on Sunday. And they offer group rates, AAA, and military discounts. If you're injured on the job, the law requires your employer to pay your medical expenses and cover your lost wages for any work-related injury. Employers and their insurers often try to deny workers' compensation claims or limit your benefits. Whether you're totally disabled and cannot work, or if you've suffered some impairment, attorney Matt Matthews has years of experience litigating. For more information, go to the website protectingalworkers.com. That's protectingalworkers.com.
And welcome back to the Hank Williams Museum pregame show here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Tonight it's Benjamin Russell traveling down from Alexander City to take on Wetumpka in a Class 6A Region 3 matchup. My name is Kane Young. I'm here with Daryl Dapprich. And Daryl, as the sun begins to set on us here, finally the weather has broken and it feels like fall.
It's got a definite crisp feeling in the air of fall football for the first time all year. That's the kind of feeling we get. And we've got another great matchup tonight. We have been so fortunate with some of the games that we've been able to call last possession football games. Tonight, Wetumpka looking to get back off the mat with what would I have to consider one of those soul-crushing losses to your rival. Just the way that went down late in the football game. Be very interesting to see Benjamin Russell fighting for their playoff lives.
So last week on the Montgomery Sports Network, Wetumpka, number one in the state at the time, was in a 28-28 tie with Stanhope Belmore, and Stanhope Belmore, Marlon Hunt had a strip and raced 85 yards for the winning score for Stanhope Belmore, and they were able to hold on for a 34-28 lead and kind of get a stranglehold on the Class 6A Region 3 standings for the moment. Tonight, Benjamin Russell comes in here, making the trip down here. They've had a struggle so far in the early going here in region play.
Yeah, they're 1-2. I believe their only victory that they've received was over Selma.
That's correct.
And they've lost to Opelika. They have yet to play Stanhope, and they lost to Stanhope. Correct. So they have played Stanhope. This is the first, obviously, the matchup against Wetumpka. So, but, you get 4 slots. We talked about that 6-team region came. So their goal and what their objective is just to get back in that 4th slot, get in the playoffs.
So you're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. We'll take a moment here to thank our sponsors. First, as always, our title sponsor, Extermatech Pest Control. Locally owned and operated, Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team voted best in Montgomery. If you have bugs bugging you, call Extermatech. They have been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Call 334-209-4590. ProtectingALWorkers.com. Workers' compensation attorney Matt Matthews has many years of experience litigating workers' compensation cases in Alabama. If you are hurt on the job, he can help you get the benefits you deserve. Visit protectingalworkers.com or call 334-721-4878. The Hank Williams Museum in downtown Montgomery. This 6,000 square foot museum is located at 118 Commerce Street. You can take a step back in time and learn about the musical history and life of a Montgomery man who is known as the legendary singer Hank Williams. Browse the large gift shop. Groups are always welcome at the Hank Williams Museum. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Chris is celebrating his 101st year in business in the capital city, located just down the street from the Capitol at 138 Dexter Avenue. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs taste the tradition. Call orders in advance, 334-265-6850. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks is a local owned and operated business. They have been in business since 1985 and serve Montgomery and the surrounding counties. They build and install burglar bars, AC guards, storm doors, and more. Make sure to check out their decorative handrails. They are a work of art. Their philosophy is being honest, dependable, fair-priced, and to treat each customer with respect. Call Midstate 334-313-9015. And here's Darryl with the rest of our sponsors.
American Oak and More, they're committed to offering exceptional furniture at affordable prices. American Oak & Moore's friendly staff will help you locate exactly what you're looking for, from patio, mattresses, dining, bedroom, living room, entertainment consoles, youth, occasional furniture, and more. Voted best in Montgomery. You don't pay with fake money, so don't settle for fake wood. Call 334-277-7793. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe, located at 2838 Zelda Road, minutes from downtown Montgomery. They are one of the area's finest Mexican restaurants. From their great lunch selection and value to the tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something for all. Dine-in or carry-outs available. Call 334-274-1153. Industrial Specialty Company Incorporated. Since its beginning in 1974, Industrial Specialty Company has built an international reputation as the premier provider of high-quality precision machine parts and assemblies, custom designed and fabricated industrial equipment, fixturing, tooling, aluminum anodizing, and military spec painting. Virtually every operation necessary in creating a part is completed under one roof, enabling ISCI to control each project each step of the way. Their one-stop shop organization greatly simplifies client purchasing efforts and significantly reduce costs. Visit their website, industrialspecialty.com, or call 334-277-2224 to learn more about ISCI. And we'd like to thank our media partners, the stations of Blue Water Broadcasting, News Talk 93.1, 96.1 KISS FM, 97.9 JAMS, Bama Country 98.9, 100.5 Yo, Classic Country The Possum, 104.9 The Gump, and 107.1 The Vault. They are local folks helping local businesses. Call them today and let them help your business at 334-244-0961. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. And, guys, please support them and tell them the Montgomery Sports Network sent you.
And don't forget, here on the Montgomery Sports Network, there's a number of ways for you to watch us. You can go to our website, mymgmsports.com, find our live broadcasts and archived on-demand games there. You can go to YouTube and search Montgomery Sports Network, find our games there live. If you have a Roku device, you can watch it on your phone. You can also watch the replays there on demand on YouTube. You can go to Facebook and like us on Facebook. You can go to Twitter, follow us at MyMGM Sports. There's a lot of, which has highlights and a lot of opportunities for you to follow us this year here on the Montgomery Sports Network. So we're going to take a quick time out here on the Hank Williams Museum pregame show. Come back in just a moment and get to the keys to tonight's contest.
Experience the history of the first country music superstar and see how Hank Williams transformed country music and sowed the seeds of what was to become American music. Visit the Hank Williams Museum, nestled in historic downtown Montgomery, Alabama. The Hank Williams Museum is one of the top tourist attractions in Alabama. Museum hours are 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday, and 1 to 4 on Sunday. And they offer group rates, AAA, and military discounts.
I had a dream, a beautiful dream. I couldn't believe how real it seemed. Up on stage, in the field of green, on the winding river, and a song you'll sing. When I wake up, I'll see you here in Montgomery, where dreams come true.
And welcome back to Hohenberg Stadium here in Wetumpka, where the homestand Indians take on the visitors from Alexander City, Benjamin Russell. Just about 19 minutes to kick off here in this Class 6A Region 3 matchup. Darryl, we'll get into our keys to the game tonight here on the Hank Williams Museum pregame show. We'll start with the visiting Benjamin Russell Wildcats, led by head coach Kevin Smith in his first year, just 4-3 overall in his first year. But he was a long-time assistant up in Alexander City for the Wildcats. So we'll start out with the first key tonight. Benjamin Russell fighting, obviously, for their playoff life.
Yeah, they have a lot to play for tonight, and it's always tough when you come off a loss. Opelika beat them 29-3 last week, but they're between Calera and Benjamin Russell. Somebody is going to get that fourth spot. They have a lot to play for tonight, and so you just kind of got to lick your wounds a little bit and come back. But, you know, a desperate team is one we should see tonight on the field in Benjamin Russell.
And for Benjamin Russell, they fell, as Darryl mentioned, to Opelika last week, 29-3 at home. Region play only just a victory so far over Selma. They actually play Calera next week. That game will be on the road on the south side of Birmingham. So, for all intents and purposes, that game is going to decide that fourth spot.
Yeah, it is. That's going to be very exciting, and you know, it could go a long way pulling off the upset tonight. But you're right. That's going to set up that one game, and the winner's going to advance to the playoffs. The loser's done for the year.
And second key for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats, turnover ratio for Benjamin Russell. They've struggled in the turnover department so far here in the 2018 campaign.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they have a quarterback that's a dual-threat quarterback, and he's got, you know, over 960 yards passing. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns. He can run the ball, but he's been intercepted 10 times. That ratio is upside down. You want a 2-to-1 ratio at least from touchdowns to interceptions, and he's got it backwards. So 10 interceptions is a lot of interceptions, and we know this Wetumpka defense is opportunistic. They can really turn the tide in the football game by getting a big turnover, fumble, or an interception. They're athletic on the back end. So Benjamin Russell's got to be very, very careful to not be turnover prone and take care of the football tonight.
Layden Contley, the signal caller for Benjamin Russell, we'll see most of the action there tonight. He also has some help in the backfield with Keaton Young will be his main running back, but it's been a struggle a little bit for scoring points on Benjamin Russell. They were shut out against Stanhope Elmore, 19-0 over Millbrook. We saw Wetumpka put up 400 yards of offense last week on Stanhope despite losing that game. So, you know, Benjamin Russell got to find a way to manufacture some points and avoid that turnover bug.
Yeah, and you know, you never in a situation like this coming off a loss against a team that's got superior talent than you, that's probably got a little bit of a mat on coming off their loss to Stanhope. We'll talk more about that later. But you've got to get some explosive plays, and you've got to get some big plays.
So the third key as we're going into here, lack of big plays. Benjamin Russell they just don't have the chunk plays this year on offense. They've looking at their stats the last couple of days, it's been a struggle for them to move the football.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, some of their stat leaders are averaging 50 yards a game rushing the ball, or 150 throwing it, or, you know, receiving 35 yards a game, and that's their leaders in statistics. So, you know, it tells me they don't score a lot of points, and they're not getting splash plays. They're not getting those big plays. They've really got to, as like Lou Holtz used to say, matriculate the ball down the field. But against Wetumpka, that's going to be difficult, and because their defense is so athletic.
And for the homestanding Wetumpka Indians coming in here 6-1. We had them here last week on the Montgomery Sports Network. They were ranked number 1 in the state, currently ranked number 6 under the leadership of head coach Tim Perry. First key for Wetumpka, the wake-up call last week over in Millbrook.
I mean, you know, you're looking at that game, and you're talking about on paper, Wetumpka should have won that football game. I know they're rivals and they were undefeated, but I had the opportunity to speak to one of their defensive backs this week who said, quite honestly, they took Stanhope lightly. They were soft in practice. They weren't very physical in practice. They needed a wake-up call, and he said that this week was the best practice they've had. They're actually hitting each other in practice, and pads were popping. So he expected there was a lot of high energy for them to come back out. You know, you got to bounce back. Let's face it, that's a soul-crushing loss. To lose that way, in that fashion, knowing you left some points on the field, how do you bounce back? How do you respond to that? And so far, all indications from practice are they've had a good week of practice, but they're going to use that as a wake-up call to kind of get them going.
And last year, Wetumpka lost a heartbreaking game here to Opelika. Last second field goal, ended up bouncing back and made it all the way to Tuscaloosa into the state finals before they were defeated by Pinson Valley. Second key tonight, attainable goals. Everything for Wetumpka still on the table for them to attain this year.
Well, the point you just made is exactly it. I mean, we talked about it. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but in a tiebreaker scenario, let's just say Wetumpka has positioned themselves rather favorably to get the 1 seed if Opelika was to knock off Stanhope later in the year. So all their goals are right there in front of them. Yes, it stings. Yes, it's your rival. Yes, you want to be the undisputed number 1 seed. But, you know, at the end of the day, when they put a number 1 next to it, there's not an asterisk. You go, you get a home game, you stay on top of that bracket. So all their goals are right there. And they need to remember that and not have a hangover from that last game.
And the third key for Wetumpka tonight, self-control. We saw a lot of self-inflicted wounds last week by the Indians.
Just really, they're not playing very disciplined football. They're an undisciplined football team. It is what it is. They take penalties that keep their defense on the field. There were 3 or 4 separate occasions, Kane, against Stanhope where they had them 3 and out and could not get off the field because they committed a personal foul penalty or a unsportsmanlike, and you cannot do that if you want to be a championship football team. You want to go to that next level, you've got to have some discipline, cut down on the second chances is why a team that starts to feel good about themselves and hang around, put themselves in a position. Stanhope did one big play. They won the football game because they hung around, and Wetumpka let them hang around with second chances.
And the other key about that, turnovers last week for Wetumpka. There were the 2 non-offensive touchdowns for Stanhope Elmore and, of course, the fumble punt. So
You're right.
We're going to direct here to the Wetumpka band here as they're performing. Get ready for tonight's national anthem. We'll be back and stay with you here just for a moment.
National anthem will be performed by the Wetumpka High School Pride of the Pride Marching Band.
And tonight's national anthem, nice rendition provided by the Wetumpka High School marching band, as they'll get ready to also do the Wetumpka alma mater. And we're just about 9 minutes from kickoff here tonight in this 6A Class 6A Region 3 matchup. So just kind of reset it here, Darryl. Talk about the standings. As we've said several times with the Stanhope games the last few weeks, very rare that at this level there's only a 6-team region. And as we mentioned before, 4 of these teams are going to get in the playoffs, and we're guaranteed 3 already. It's Stanhope Elmore, who leads the region, Opelika, then Wetumpka, and then, of course, potentially Benjamin Russell or Calera. Selma winless right now in region playoffs. They play host to Stanhope Elmore tonight. But it's just a rare situation for these teams, and the importance of a potential home game still looms here for Wetumpka.
Well, let's touch on that tiebreaker that you looked up yesterday. When we talk about a 6-team region, you've got to go find games outside of the region. And the wins against 6A or 7A schools outside the region is determined to be the tiebreaker in the three-way tie, because you eliminate that head-to-head at that point for the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed and number 3 seed gets determined by head-to-head, because then you drop down. So when you're in a 6-team region, look how important it is to go play 6A and 7A teams out of the region because of tiebreaker purposes.
And with Wetumpka, Coach Perry, these teams have to have 5 non-region games. It's almost unheard of at the high school level. But a victory over Fairhope here to open the season, and 6A Northview down in Dothan. Also had the victory over Buckhorn, a huge school out of the Huntsville area, and they still have Muscle Shoals down the road. So they're going to have several wins against large schools. Opelika does not have a win against a 6A or 7A school outside the region. And Stanhope Elmore has lost to Smith Station and Prattville in non-region. I also failed to mention that Wetumpka also beat Prattville. So
yeah, and so if you look at that, and if it obviously we're not assuming anything. Stanhope beats Opelika, they're the region champs. If something happens and Opelika upends Stanhope, then you go to that 3-way tie, and for all intents and purposes, it would be Wetumpka as the number 1 seed.
So we're just about 6 minutes here from kickoff as the Wetumpka seniors, this senior night here, they honored all the band members, cheerleaders, and football players here a few minutes ago on the field, and it looks like the entire senior class for Wetumpka out here for the toss tonight, but they only send 4 players out there for the toss here, as Wetumpka come out of their end zone. Unique things here at Wetumpka. Obviously got the huge helmet there to run out of the end zone. Also have that Florida State thing going here with the horse coming out in the field in just a few moments.
They do. It's really a spectacle, and I would encourage anybody that has an opportunity in the River Region area to come out and support Friday Night Lights, your local high school football teams. Come watch a game here. It's definitely a sight to see, and I would imagine that this crowd's going to fill in pretty good. It's going to be loud. We're on the home side press box. You'll hear the War Chant a lot through the broadcast, and you'll hear the Wetumpka fans who are very loud and vocal supporting their Indians.
And we thank Coach Perry and Principal Slater for having us over here tonight for tonight's contest. Also remind you that if you are watching us at home, there's numerous ways to watch us, but if for some reason the broadcast is a little fuzzy or goes out every once in a while, we are at the mercy of our internet providers here, the service from the cell towers and so forth. You can always go back and find the game on demand with another recording if need be. But if we get bumped off for a moment, just stay with us. We'll come back on almost immediately. Last week we had some issues over a stand-up because there were probably about 6,000 or 7,000 people there in the stands, and everybody's trying to use the cell phone towers at one time.
It was overloading the network, and so in that situation, we do all that we can do. We appreciate the viewership, and we appreciate people hanging in with us. It'll be well worth your while, trust me.
And we had a number of viewers last week on both our platforms at our website, mymgmsports.com, and on YouTube. Search Montgomery Sports Network as the teams are out there getting the coin toss. And Benjamin Russell is going to kick off, so that Wetumpka offense, Darryl, is going to be on the field here to start this contest, led by quarterback Tyquan Rawls. We talked about this last week, but again, he had to replace the very dynamic J.D. Martin, and Mr. Rawls has done a great job in that position so far.
He has. He was a little bit, I think, off his game against Stanhope. D'Angelo Jones had a monster game, and E.J. Rogers had a real good game. I look for Rawls to bounce back tonight, and he's going to have to. Benjamin Russell's got two studs on defense. One is Brett Pitts, who's got 51 tackles. He's a linebacker. And Markel Jackson, also 47 tackles. Those two guys make it go for Benjamin Russell. So look for them to try to slow down this Wetumpka potent attack.
And the spear thrown right there at the 50-yard line as Wetumpka's ready to do battle. Rawls last week had 11 carries for 106 yards against Stanhope. Elmore had 135 through the air on 10 of 18 passing. But it was D'Angelo Jones who did a lot of the work on the ground, whether it was out of the spread formation or with that wildcat with a couple of the defenders in there blocking for him.
And Rawls got a lion's share of those passing yards in the second half to E.J. Rogers. I think that they made a conscious effort at halftime that they're going to have to come out and throw the ball more, even though D'Angelo Jones was having his way out of that wildcat where they have Colton Adams as your fullback. So it'll be interesting. I think tonight you're going to see that balance from Wetumpka. A lot more balance. I think they're not going to go away from something that's working for them. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, on the other hand, Benjamin Russell has a pretty dynamic, even though we talked about not splash plays, Landon Cotney's thrown for 960 yards and rushed for 111, so he's accounted for 1,000 yards total offense. Their leading rusher, Keaton Young's got a couple touchdowns, and then they've got a receiver with one touchdown. Other than that, statistically, not a lot of big plays for Benjamin Russell. They're going to have to get some big plays, in my opinion, to have a chance to beat Wetumpka.
So just about 2 minutes here from kickoff as we'll wrap up the Hank Williams Museum pregame show here on the Montgomery Sports Network as we get ready to start the Extermatech Pest Control game of the week, as both teams have made their way out onto the field. Wetumpka back in the black jerseys tonight with the Vegas gold uniforms, and Benjamin Russell across the way. Wearing the maroon burgundy pants over there with their same helmet and the traditional white uniforms on the road. Good travel crowd making their way in here from Alexander City. Benjamin Russell is just about 45 minutes north of here. These two teams have played many times over the years. Unfortunately for Benjamin Russell, they have not won an on-field contest against Wetumpka since 2001. They did have a victory in 2011 due to forfeit, and an ineligible player later discovered. But it's been a struggle in this series for Benjamin Russell.
Yeah, and, if you talk to Benjamin Russell, they don't count that 2011. I didn't want to beat him on the field. And it's been a long, long time. Wetumpka has owned Benjamin Russell, and tonight, coming off a loss, be interesting to see how Wetumpka comes out. Are they going to come out focused and angry and ready to play, or are they going to come out still with a little bit of a hangover from a very disappointing loss?
So kicking off here for Benjamin Russell will be Wilson Hayes. He has an interesting story we'll try to cover as the game goes on. Terrence Thomas is the deepest man for Wetumpka. Also seeing Malik Davis back there, and number 17, Brandon Bowman. As Wilson will kick it off, number 88 for the Wildcats. And this Class 6A Region 3 matchup gets underway here as you're watching the Extermatech Pest Control game of the week. Kind of squib it toward the nearest sideline. Is going to be picked up by Bowman. He's going to try to work over to the left. In a little bit of trouble, but now escapes it, and it opens up for him here on the near sideline across the 40, working his way across the midfield. Gets a good block, and he may house it here to start the game inside the 20, finally knocked down of bounds near the 10-yard line.
That's exactly the kind of start you want If you're Wetumpka, big play on special teams. Bowman completely changes direction, cuts against the grain, and if not for the lone Benjamin Russell defender that knocks him out of bounds, he takes it to the house. So Wetumpka setting up really in great field position, and this start, exactly the kind of start they wanted.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. He knocked out officially at the 12-yard line. We'll see if Wetumpka goes with that heavy set or if they're going to bring in Rawls. It looks like Tyquan Rawls is going to come out there, a quarterback, to start things off, along with his running back, D'Angelo Jones, number 20.
And give Hez Hunter all kind of credit for Stanhope, Benjamin Russell not giving up on that play.
So 1st and 10. Rawls is going to take it himself to the left across 10. Rocks it in for the touchdown, and what a start for the Indians.
That's about as easy as you can get it right there. Long kickoff return. 11:34 left on the clock of the first quarter. Wetumpka's already scored, so that's exactly the kind of start they needed and that they were looking for.
So 6-0. Zachary Grindle on to do the extra point attempt for Wetumpka. Malik Davis will be his holder. And not the start Coach Smith wanted coming down here from Alexander City, but for Coach Perry, he couldn't not have scripted it any better. Here's the kick, is up. And it's good. So our score, 11:34 left first quarter. It's Wetumpka 7, Benjamin Russell nothing. You're watching the Montgomery Sports Network.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company, and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech, 334-209-4590.
So fireworks to start things off here for Wetumpka, as Grindle will get ready to kick it off here. After the long kickoff return by Bowman, Rawls runs it in from 12 yards, 7-0 Indians. Back deep will be Zay Stows for Benjamin Russell. He has a 93-yard kickoff return to his credit so far in the 2018 season, so he's a threat.
Leading receiver for the Wildcats, so he is a threat, explosive. It was interesting on that kickoff return. They short kicked it too, Kane. They didn't kick it to the dangerous guys, Thompson. They kicked it to the up man, and Bowman still did a great job of weaving his way through traffic.
Grindle's kick is away. They're going to kick it deep. Stows camps under it inside his own 5. Works towards the middle of the field, and he is going to be dropped before he can make it back to the 20. Great coverage by the Wetumpka kick team.
It's got your running back, your starting running back, Thompson, on special teams. Thomas, correction, does a great job of cutting down the Benjamin Russell return man, and Stows actually on that. So 1st and 10, they basically didn't get it out to the 20, got to the 19. Interesting to see now what Wetumpka's defense does, and its first possession.
So Benjamin Russell comes out. Landon Cotney, will be the quarterback here. Young is in the backfield behind him. And Young gets the first carry straight up the middle, some positive yardage there. He worked his way out to about the 25 on the first carry.
It'd be interesting to see also, Kane, if they're going to go between the tackles with Young. So far, first play, they're not trying to bounce him outside. They know the speed that Wetumpka defense has with Adams getting outside, and number 7, Nolan. They're going to try to run between the tackles right at Wetumpka.
So 2nd down and 5 for the 25. This time Cotney pulls it out to the right. Has some room out there. Nice job blocking, but there's a flag coming in. That's going to come back probably for holding.
Yeah, holding on the edge right there. The receiver, that enabled Cotney to get out of bounds or to get around the initial pursuit there. I don't think he gets the corner, Kane, if not for the hold.
So it is holding. One nice thing, Darryl, being on the home side tonight, we were able to see the official signals. That's been a problem the last few weeks, but that's okay.
Yeah, we can see it, and it's going to be nice to be able to see it early.
So from the spot foul, we move back to the 20-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and 10 for Benjamin Russell. 10:47 left here, first quarter.
When you fall behind 7-0, Kane, and you're the underdog on the road, a nice pickup on 2nd down now gets totally eliminated because of penalties. You got to eliminate that if you're the Wildcats.
So Young is offset to the right. Have trips to the near side here. Looks like Gamble and Stows They're going to look to throw it. Connie looks. He throws it over here to the right. Oh, and it's almost intercepted. It goes off the hands of McGee. Incomplete, and bring up third down and long.
I think McGee heard footsteps that time. And as Nolan was coming in and ready to lay the wood, that's one thing we know Wetumpka likes to do. They'll hit you. So I think McGee was hearing footsteps a little bit, kind of short-armed that. They were trying to set up that jailbreaker bubble screen.
So third down, and we'll call it 10 from about the 20-yard line. Clock stopped momentarily, 10:27 left first quarter. As it looks like Ben Russell will go with 2 receivers to each side, with Stoves and Willis down here at the bottom of the screen and McGee and Gamble up top. Cotney going to look to throw. Goes to the right. Oh, it's almost off the hands of the receiver and falls incomplete. On the far side, he was looking for McGee. Good coverage over there. That time for Wetumpka, it looks like it was number 12, Marshall on the coverage.
If you're McGee, though, you've got to run that route deeper. I can never understand why receivers run routes 10 yards short of the first down. Even if you catch the ball, you're going to get tackled. There's not going to be many yak yards with a pass pattern like that. That route tree is not conducive to a first down.
So Gamble on the punt for Benjamin Russell. Malik Davis standing just across midfield on the Indian logo here. And not much pressure. Kicks away. Nice kick. Davis drifts back. Catches it about his 35. Trying to work to the near side here. Gets a block across the 45 and spins his way close to midfield. And now a late flag comes in. And looks in the area of blocking the back or potentially clipping.
Yeah, I wonder if that block that we saw that we thought was a nice block, if just at the last second the Benjamin Russell player kind of turned and he got him in the numbers. Either way, Wetumpka's going to get penalized here and backed up to the 35-yard line, looks like.
So they're going to march this off
actually further, yeah.
Yeah, against the Indians all the way back to the 31. So the homestand's not happy with the call, so it'll be first and 10 at the 31. 10:06 left here, first quarter on the Extermatech Pest Control game of the week. This time, Wetumpka comes out with Jones in the backfield with Rawls and trips to the far side. Jones gets his handy. It opens up for him across the middle. He breaks it outside. Nice move across the 50. Good block, and he may take it all the way. Jones working his way down the sideline, cuts it back at the 10, and he's going to get into the end zone for the touchdown. And just like that, one play, 69 yards, touchdown.
Wetumpka has run 2 offensive plays, and they're up 13-0, and it's both the running game right there by Jones. I mean, what great vision and how he cut back, reads his blocks, let his blocks set up, but did a good job all the way down the field. Got tackled, but it was after he was over the goal line.
So, Darrell, you called it in the pregame, the wake-up call. Somebody answered it.
The alarm clocks, yeah, it was definitely they didn't hit snooze. They came out, they were ready to play, and all indications, the practice that they had has paid off for this.
So Grindle on for the extra point attempt. Low snap, and it's blocked by Benjamin Russell coming in there. Looks like it was number 3 on the block, Kobe Crabb. So our score, 9:48 left first quarter. It is Wetumpka 13, Benjamin Russell nothing. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control game of the week.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech, 334-209-4590.
13-0 Wetumpka here. This just introduced one of the stars from last season's team, Cavassier Smoke, who is at Kentucky right now as a running back. They must be on the bye week here as he's made the trip back to Wetumpka here for senior night.
Real nice moment right there to recognize Cavassier, and you're right, Kentucky's got a bye week. What a story they've been in college football, although they lose to Texas A&M last Saturday. We were looking at the stats, remember last week. I think he's being redshirted. Yeah. But I think he is going to make a difference in the SEC down the road. I think we're going to hear from Mr. Smoke as the years roll by here.
So Grindle will kick it off, 13-0 Indians, and we've only played 2 minutes and 12 seconds so far in this contest. Stowe back deep, and he's going to catch it around his 5 again. And again, good coverage there by Wetumpka's kick. Man, they might have made it to the 20, and that's it.
so dangerous when you spin around like that, and Stowe was. I mean, he was spinning at the 20, and that ball can get knocked out easily and get picked up for a fumble recovery.
So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. And if you're Benjamin Russell and Coach Smith, what's your goal right now, Darryl?
Well, you got to just be careful not to get blown out of here. I mean, I'm just being frank. I mean, if you don't take care of business and get some sustained drives, you're on the precipice of getting run out of this place, because Wetumpka has come to play, and they are ready to play. So you've got to do something to slow them down.
Cottney calling the signals. Young offset to his left. Comes a blitz by Wetumpka. They're going to look to throw it over here to Stowe. He makes the grab, squirts forward across the 25 out to the 27, a gain of 7 on the play on the 1st down.
And, that's a great play by Stowe. I mean, he could have gotten tackled right at the line of scrimmage, did a good job of slipping through tacklers and spinning, and get 7 yards where it looked like it was going to be stuck at the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd and 3 at the 27 for Benjamin Russell. Young stays in the backfield, all set to the left. Wetumpka with the 4-man front. Adams in the middle, a linebacker. And Young gets this handoff, kind of tiptoes his way across the 30, and it's going to be thrown down at the 33 for a 1st down run for Benjamin Russell.
When you fall behind this quickly, Kane, you look for small victories, things that you can build upon, building blocks. This 1st down is big for Benjamin Russell as they keep a drive alive and keep their defense. Although their defense hasn't played many plays. 2 plays is all they've played so far.
So 1st and 10 to the 33, 8:45 left 1st quarter. As we have Willis and Gamble down here at the bottom of the screen. Stowe's in the slot on the right. Cottney's going to look to throw here near side. It's complete, and across the 35 there. A nice pitch and catch that time by Gamble out to about the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that's a nice pass to Gamble, and that's a nice play call. I like that play call a lot. It's safe. Gets you about, 5 yards on 1st down, maybe 4? 4. They're laying that marker down on the other side. I can't tell. Now I can see the referees, but I can't see the marker. There we go. So, 2nd and 6 for the Wildcats.
This time 2 receivers again each side. Young offset to the right. Cottney going to look to put it back up in the air, looking near side here. And again, out near the 45-yard line is going to be a 1st down catch here for Gamble out to the 47. It's going to be a pickup of 10.
I've been impressed with Cottney's poise and their route tree. Kane, they're running nice 7 to 8 intermediate routes. That might be the strategy, is that little West Coast short passing game to get down the field on Wetumpka. They've picked up 2 1st downs, which has been big because the momentum was all on the Indian side.
So Gamble and Willis here on the near side for the Wildcats. Cottney going to look this way again, off to his left, throws out here. It is complete to Gamble. He's dropped near the 50 after a short gain of about 3.
At some point, you're hoping, if you're Cottney and you're Benjamin Russell and Coach Smith, you're hoping that you can pop one of those or break one of those. That a missed tackle on that little hitch route can get you 20 or 25. But Wetumpka is just totally content right now to play off. And if they do, Benjamin Russell is going to take what the defense gives them.
So 2nd and 7, ball resting at midfield here. Benjamin Russell looking to the sideline for their signal. Play clock still has 14 on it. Young offset to the right. This time he gets the handoff, goes over right guard. Not much happening there. Might have gained 1, and that was about it.
And that's a play call and a run call just to kind of keep the defense honest. They've had a couple nice little runs of 5 yards, 6 yards, but you've got to show Wetumpka's defense that you're committed to the run too. You can't just air it out all game. You've got to just to keep them honest a little bit, keep them from playing so much off the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd down and 6 at the Wetumpka 49-yard line for the Wildcats. As we take under 7 minutes here left in the 1st quarter. 13-0 Indians lead it. Actually have 3 receivers here to this near side for Benjamin Russell. Cottney fakes the handoff, pulls it right. Oh, he's a nice move to get escape one man. Tries to get outside, cannot get the corner. A nice open field tackle over that time for Wetumpka. Jones on the play.
Playing both ways. Jones' speed made it kind of impossible for Cottney to get around the edge. If he did, he'd have picked up the 1st down. So Wetumpka's defense holds. Benjamin Russell gets a couple of 1st downs, flips field position a little bit, Kane, so they're not punting out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
Gamble on the punt for Benjamin Russell. Davis back deep, standing at his 10-yard line. Oh, he dropped the kick, but Gamble's able to get it off, or dropped the ball, excuse me. And it's going to take a nice roll for Benjamin Russell down inside the 10-yard line. Man, you can't draw that up any better. It's kind of rested about the 2-yard line here.
I mean, he dropped it, and then it gets kicked, and it bounces at about the 15, and it rolls all the way to the 2. So Benjamin Russell did a pretty good job of flipping field position there by getting a couple of first downs and then getting that nice punt.
So 2 plays so far Wetumpka, for Wetumpka, 2 touchdowns. The first one set up on the long kickoff return by Bowman. And the Indians this time will start out, have to go 98 yards as D'Angelo Jones looks like he's comes back out at running back here for the Indians. I also see Colton Adams and Lucas coming back there, so they're going to go with that full house backfield here, backed up in the shadow of their own end zone.
E.J. Rogers is at, I think, the top of the screen. One-on-one.
So Jones, we saw this a lot last week, takes the direct snap, works left, trying to get outside, and he's pushed out of bounds on the far side there. Maybe picked up 5 or 6 yards on the first down carry.
Yeah, that play right there just designed to get you a little bit of breathing room, be out of danger from the potential safety, and that's exactly what it did. I think got 7 actually, 2nd and 3, and that's what he was doing that last week out of that Wildcat. He was getting 6-7 yards a pop, and it was virtually unstoppable.
2nd and 3. Jones this time tries the left, and he's going to get out to about the 10, bringing up a 3rd down and a short, maybe 2, maybe 1 here, depending on the spot.
If Benjamin Russell could get a stop here and go 3 and out, it would be huge for their confidence, and Kane, they'd get great field position. So the goal here is for the Wildcats, try to find a way to stop this potent Wetumpka offense and get the football back.
So 3rd down, we'll call it 2 from the 10-yard line. This time Adams and Lucas offset to the right of Jones. Jones is going to try that right side. Oh, he's met in the backfield, but he's going to fall forward close to the spot.
He might have squirmed his way to the first down.
No signal yet from the head official.
And Pitts, their leading tackler, makes the stop.
And we're going to have to get a measurement, it looks like. Nope, they're going to signal first down. He got it. They're going to eyeball it. So 1st down for the Indians. And actually, technically the first down of the night for Wetumpka, despite the fact that they scored 2 twice.
Yeah, that offense is struggling. First down of the night for the Indians.
As Tyquan Rawls will come back in now as they get out across the 10-yard line, a quarterback for the Indians.
And I'm looking on the field. I thought number 2, Rogers, not on the field offensively for Wetumpka right now.
This is going to Rawls fakes the pass out there, comes near side. He's in some trouble, but works his way out of it for positive yardage out across the 15, maybe to the 17.
You know, those are the little things on stat sheets. It looks like a 3-yard gain or 5-yard gain, but you should have lost 4. And so that's a 9-yard net swing that time because Benjamin Russell couldn't bring Rawls down to the backfield. And do you see Rogers on the field?
I do not see Rogers. I see number 2. Rogers wore number 8 on the road last week. But you know what? I'm going to say number 2 is Rogers. I think he's wearing J.D. Martin's numbers.
You're right. You're right. That's a good call.
So trips to the left.
They need to let us know these kind of things.
Ross takes it across the 20, makes a man miss, cuts it back across the 30. He's going to pick up about 14 yards in the first down for Wetumpka.
You know, and that's the difference with the converted safety playing quarterback. He does not go down with the first lick. He bounces off people and spins and uses his body and runs like a safety because of the big and the bulk in his upper body. Great carry that time by Rawls.
So Jones comes out of the game. Terrence Thomas in there now. Malik Davis as one of the receivers. But number 2, Rogers, E.J. Rogers, is wearing the jersey of J.D. Martin, the star quarterback who tore his ACL in the preseason, which is why Rawls has been playing so much quarterback this year for Wetumpka. And we have a flag. Like an area of a lineman moving. But Darryl, J.D. Martin is one of the most electrifying players we've seen in this area in a long time. That loss for Wetumpka. Rawls has done such a commendable job here this season at quarterback.
Yeah, he really has. And without him being able to step up and fill that void, Wetumpka would have been in a world of hurt.
So empty backfield for the moment. Thomas goes in motion. Rawls fakes it on the counter back to the near side. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage there, picks up about 5 yards.
Everything he does, though, Rawls, when he gets hit, and we've talked about this in other broadcasts with other players, he falls forward. Even if he spins sideways and tries to jump through a seam, he still ends up falling forward, and that's big. That's 2 yards, 3 yards every time extra.
So 2nd and 10 at the 31. Thomas stays in the backfield with Rawls. Rawls is going to roll to the near side. He's looking for Rogers here. And a nice catch by Rogers. They're going to say he's out of bounds, though.
He's got such nice hands. He really does. I think he can play at the next level. Kane, I really do. He's got big play potential, but I watch the way he catches the football, and it's really textbook. He catches in his hands, keeps it away from his body, very strong hands, and almost comes up with a tightrope catch there along the sideline.
Now, we do have replay being used here tonight, but no challenges from the Wetumpka coaches here on what should be 3rd down. Rawls looks to set up the screen. Good coverage by Benjamin Russell. They had it dissected. Rawls is going to come here to the near sideline, pick up some yardage, gets across the 35 for about 5 yards for bring up 4th down situation.
Another example, though, where he gets 5, and Benjamin Russell could have had him stop for a sack and got a lot better field position as Wetumpka comes into punt here.
So 1:45, and the clock is running here as Benjamin Russell trying to force the punt. And back deep for the Wildcats will be number 3, Kobe Crabb.
Back deep for Ben Russell, Kobe Crabb.
Good snap, no pressure. Kicks away. Beautiful
That's a great kick. It sure is.
Fair catch called for by Crabb at about the 32-yard line. I want to say, I think of SpongeBob when I hear it say Crabb.
Well, every time you say Terrence Thomas, I want to think of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. And Kobe Crabb, I do think of Bikini Bottom there.
So 1st and 10 for Benjamin Russell. 1:15 left first quarter. So we saw a nice drive by the Wildcats. They actually gained about 12 yards of field position on the exchange of possessions there. But they got to get something going here and get some points on the board.
Well, what they did is stop the bleeding a little bit. I mean, they didn't allow Wetumpka to come right down the field and score again. And if they do that, the boat race is on. And so what they did is they kind of stemmed the tide a little bit, stopped the bleeding. And now they need to pick up 3-4 first downs here and keep this drive sustained.
So 3 receivers to the near side with Stows at the bottom of the screen. And it looks like it's going to be a handoff to Young on the right side. He's going to make a nice run out to about the 37-yard line.
You know, if you ask Coach Smith, I'm sure he'd take 4 yards on first down every time with this Wetumpka defense. And, you know, you've got – I think the strategy is we talked about splash plays, but it might be even better for Benjamin Russell if they can have long, sustained drives and keep the Wetumpka offense on the sideline.
So 2nd down, we'll call it 5 for the Wildcats as we're under a minute to play here in the first quarter. I'm going to look to throw on the right side. Has a man over there on the far sideline. It's complete. And that's going to be a first down for Benjamin Russell across the 45. Nice reception there that time by McGee.
I'm starting to see, and it's becoming crystal clear to me, when we looked at the stats and didn't see big plays, it's their offense. They're content with 4 or 5 yard gains on first downs running the ball, and they're content with 8, 9 yard pass plays. And I guess they feel like they just can keep the ball moving down the field and use possession, time of possession.
So 1st and 10 at the 47 for the Wildcats. Young offset to the right. Cotney looking to throw. Across the middle this time it goes incomplete as he was looking for Willis.
Willis heard the footsteps too that time. And if you've watched film on Wetumpka, which I'm sure these coaches and this team has, you know how their reputation for hitting. And they will hit you over the middle, sometimes borderline, sometimes a little on the edge, but they're going to hit you. And I think Benjamin Russell is hearing some footsteps across the middle.
So 5 seconds left here in the first quarter. It's 2nd and 10 at the 47 for Benjamin Russell. 13-0. Wetumpka has the lead here as they exploded quickly in the first 2 minutes for the scores.
Play clock's down to 3. They better hurry up.
Cotney gets it off, looking to the near side, throws out here. Oh, and it's almost intercepted that time by Wetumpka. Samuel Jones had his hands on the football.
And if he gets that, I think he takes that to the house, too. He had a host of Wetumpka blockers.
So the clock hits triple zeros here in Wetumpka at the end of the first quarter. Our score, the Indians 13, the Wildcats nothing. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
Montgomery's best country is on Bama Country 98.9 WBAM. Bama Country with Bubba and Christy every weekday morning 5:30 to 10 a.m. Bama Country, playing today's best country and all the country legends. Bama Country 98.9 WBAM. Listen to Bama Country 98.9 WBAM.
And we're back at Hohenberg Stadium where Wetumpka leads to 13-0. Second and 10 for, check that, third and 10 for Benjamin Russell on the first play of the second quarter. Cotney looking to throw. Goes over the middle, and boy, it's almost intercepted again. And it was Samuel Jones having his hands on the football.
Yeah, Jones is going to be seeing that in his sleep. He had 2 picks, and both of them fell to the ground. But Wetumpka does what they need to do. 3 and out, and they'll get the football back after the punt.
So 4th down, punting situation again here.
Jacoby Gamble and punt formation.
Gamble going to punt it for the Wildcats. Davis back deep. He's inside his own 20-yard line at the moment. Good snap. More pressure this time. Davis having to rush up to catch it, and he loses the football. It's on the ground, and that may be the break Benjamin Russell needs if they came up with the football. Still no signal. Benjamin Russell football, recovery down there for the Wildcats.
We talked in the keys to the game about penalties and turnovers and not giving your opponent that basically you've got more talent than life, and that's exactly what Wetumpka does in that situation with the fumble. And that's exactly what Benjamin Russell needed to get back in the football game, and now they have that opportunity.
Ja'Cory Gonzalez, Johnny on the spot there for the Wildcats, and Benjamin Russell has a 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. 11:43 left, first quarter. Huge opportunity here for Benjamin Russell to get back in this contest.
You know, a punt like that that's got no turnover, it had no spin, it was coming straight up and down. You just get away from that, back off. It's going to take a crazy bounce. It's going to be hard to catch.
Yeah, Davis had to race about 10 yards to get up to try to catch it and was unable to do so. As Young is offset to the left of Cotney. Play clock's at 5. They're going to have to hurry it up. Cotney looking to throw, looks left. Now throws it late out there, incomplete. He was looking for McGee. That was a dangerous pass as McGee was double covered.
Looks like Wetumpka has changed up their defense a little bit and has adjusted to come up and take away those 6 or 7 yard hitches. They are being covered where before they were wide open.
So 2nd and 10, 11:39 left here, first quarter. And Benjamin Russell really stays with that 11 players they have on the field. They don't do a whole lot of subbing on offense. This time Young offset to the right. Cotney looks that way, throws late, and it's a nice catch over here by McGee. He's inside the 10. He's going to have a 1st and goal situation for Benjamin Russell.
That's a timing route right that time. Cotney just throws it before McGee comes out of his break. And when McGee turns around, the ball's on him.
So 1st and goal for the Wildcats at the 9-yard line.
At the Indian 8-yard line.
Officially, I checked that got marked at the 8. Last play gained 14. So trips off to the left for Benjamin Russell. They're going to throw it out here. Oh, late throw. Good coverage by Wetumpka. That was a dangerous pass that time as Wetumpka had to read on the play.
Yeah, that is a dangerous pass. You have got to throw that quick, and even if you throw that quick, Samuel Jones is all over that. Look for Benjamin Russell later in the game to maybe hitch on that and go. Pump fake and go up the sideline on that to the corner.
So 2nd and goal at the 8. 11:07 left, second quarter. As McGee, it looks like Stows and Gamble off to the left. Willis at the bottom of the screen on the right. Cotney looks to the left. Looks. Throws. It's deflected. And that's intercepted. And it looks like Colton Adams racing down the right sideline, finally driven, tackled in Wetumpka territory, or in Benjamin Russell territory, excuse me. Big play for the Wetumpka defense.
Yeah, great job that time by Colton Adams reading the eyes of the quarterback. I thought he was going to take it to the house. Give Young credit for Benjamin Russell that tracked him down from behind. And as it is, though, Wetumpka gets the ball 1st and 10 in Wildcat territory.
Colton Adams, one of the senior leaders, honored before the game here on senior night for Wetumpka, played such an important role for the Indians in that run to Tuscaloosa last season, and makes a big play here on this last regular season game.
Whedon Young's got some speed, I'll tell you that much, to track him down from behind like that.
So Jones in the backfield with Rawls. Rawls is going to take it himself to the left. Slips across the 40 down to about the 38 for 5 yards on first down.
So both teams with a turnover. That turnover right there is devastating because you're hoping to at least get 3 out of that. Make it a 2-score game. As it is, Wetumpka has a chance now to go up big time.
So 2nd down and 5 at the 38 for the Indians. 10.5 left in the second quarter. Terrence Thomas back in the backfield for the Indians. Rawls is going to look to put it up in the air. Now drops it off to Thomas out of the backfield, and he's hit behind the line that time. A nice tackle for Benjamin Russell. That was number 23, Hezekiah Hunter on the play.
Yeah, Hunter did a good job. Hunter was the one that saved the touchdown on the kickoff return. Great tackle, good form tackle that time. And
that'll bring up 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, so they lost 2 on that.
So under 10 to play here in the second quarter. Big down here for the Benjamin Russell defense. 3rd down and 6 at the ball resting just inside the 40. Rogers is down here one-on-one on the bottom of the screen. They fake the handoff to Thomas, run the quarterback counterback this way. Rawls is going to fall forward. He's close to the first down. It's going to depend on the spot as the chains are on the other side of the field.
Yeah, it's tough to see.
No signal yet. There it is. First down for Wetumpka. So 6-yard gain in the first down for the Indians.
Yeah, it's a good spot. I guess he did fall forward over the defender, but it looked like that was the first time I've seen him kind of go sideways a little bit.
So the Indians so far are working. Now we have a stoppage. The chain, there's having a problem over there with the chains. We know you noticed that earlier. One of the yard markers was down. We were having trouble to see
just
how
laying
far.
On the ground. I couldn't tell how far they were away for the first down.
So it looks like that situation there still has been rectified. So here we go. 1st and 10 now at the 33-yard line for the Indians. Under 9 to play here in quarter number 2 from Hohenberg Stadium. Rawls and Jones will be in the backfield. They fake the handoff to Jones. Rawls going deep, looking for Rogers. There's contact down there as the pass is not locked away. Maybe they just got their feet tangled there on the deep post route.
They must have, because Rogers was stumbling and tripping. I think he gets a touchdown if he keeps his feet there. But as it is, I like the play call. Go deep. They hadn't gone deep to the center of the field yet. That's the time to take your shot. Coming off a first down like that at the 33.
So 2nd and 10. Rogers come to the sideline here to catch his breath for a moment as Jones will offset to the right. Jones gets it straight up the middle. Dropped after a short gain down to the 31.
Good tackle that time by Benjamin Russell. You know, Jones, every time he touches the ball, he's getting 5 or 6 yards. He gets 2 that time, and now it's 3rd and 8.
So 3rd and 8 of the 31. Rogers checks back into the game here, down to the bottom of the screen to the left, as Wetumpka will go with trips to the far side. The Indians have only completed 1 pass so far to this point. Davis in motion. They fake the handoff to him. They're going to try to hit. Look like Jones out of the backfield, and Rawls overthrows him.
Yeah, give Benjamin Russell. I don't know if they'll go for it or not. They're in that spot. You know, I guess they are. 4th and 8. You punt. You're not going to gain much there. Field goal, a little deep for a field goal. So Wetumpka will leave its offense on the field.
So 4th and 8 at 31. And Coach Perry is going to bring in Terrence Thomas checks into the game. Jones checks out. Rogers still one-on-one down here to our far left. Rawls going to roll the pocket to the right. Throws it, and that's going to be called out there by Davis for the first down. Oh, and there's a lot of push or something after the play.
I'll tell you, he was standing up, and his progress was stopped, and the Benjamin Russell safety came in like a missile, had a running start, and I guess he was still in bounds, so he knocked him out of bounds, no flag. That's a dangerous play right there.
So play gains 15 and a first down here for Wetumpka at the 16-yard line. Check that 15-yard line. Nice throw and catch that time.
Yeah, on 4th and 8, it's a great route.
Clock running under 7.5 to play till halftime. Rogers and Johnson, now we got a timeout. Play clock was running down, so we're going to take it with them here. Timeout by Wetumpka, their first of the half. 7:18 left, second quarter. Wetumpka 13, Benjamin Russell nothing here on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Montgomery's new at-work station is 96.1 KISS FM. The biggest and best playlist and long sets of nonstop music. 96.1 KISS FM. Just the music you know and love. Montgomery's new at-work radio station.
And we're back here. Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week on the Montgomery Sports Network. You can watch us at mymgmsports.com. You can go to YouTube, search Montgomery Sports Network. Go to our Facebook page, like us on Facebook. Follow us at Twitter at mymgm sports. As Wetumpka has first and 10 here. Ball just inside the 15-yard line. Rawls is going to take it himself to the left, and nice job by the Benjamin Russell defense that time, making a play for the Wildcats, number 24, Timothy Rigby.
Yeah, Rigby did a great job of reading Rawls as he tries to cut back against the grain. Rigby grabs him around the ankles and does a good job of holding him to a no gain.
So 2nd and 10 for the Indians as we're under 7 to play now. Several players running in and out here. Jones will be the running back, though, as 2 receivers will go to each side. Davis and Rogers are offset to our left. Rawls looking. Going to go to the right side there, looking in the back of the end zone. Is going to fall incomplete as he was looking for Jaleel Johnson, bringing up a 3rd down situation.
I think he needs to let that route develop a little bit. I think he threw that too early to Johnson. Johnson had not gotten separation yet. He did get separation late in the route. He just got to wait another half second, another beat before you let that go.
So 3rd down and 10. And this time we see Harris check out. They're going to put Rogers on the right side of the formation for the first time in this drive. Davis off to the left here with Johnson. Rawls rolling right, looking for Rogers. Oh, it's an out and up route. Rogers in the back of the end zone, jumps, goes incomplete. A late fly comes in way from the football. I don't know if that's, I'm not even going to assume what that is. Wasn't a player in the area.
I thought it could have been defensive holding in the backfield, but we'll see. But, yeah, he had him on the out and up.
So the pass goes incomplete for the moment. It's holding on with Wetumpka. So if you're Ben Russell, do you take this and push them back, or do you make them try the field goal, which from this spot would be about 32, 33 yards?
You got him, what, fourth and 10?
Fourth down.
Yeah, I would go ahead and just decline the penalty and make them kick the field goal.
But actually, they're going to take it, so it's 4th and 10-yard penalty.
I'm up here with you, Kane.
Well, hold on now. Now they decline it. He started to march it off, and he declined it.
Get some love on that one.
So 4th down and 10 here as Wetumpka looks like they're going to send the kicking team on. Zachary Grindle, the kicker, had the game-winning kick against Opelika a few weeks ago here. This will be about 32-yard attempt for Grindle.
The last one, remember, the snap was so low.
Yeah, the extra point was blocked by Benjamin Russell. Better snap and spot this time. Grindel's kick is up. It has the distance, and it is good. So Grindel knocks it home from 32, and our new score is 6:22 left in the second quarter. It is Wetumpka 16, Benjamin Russell nothing. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Montgomery's best country is on Bama Country 98.9 WBAM. Bama Country with Bubba and Christy every weekday morning 5:30 to 10 a.m.
We're gonna have a house party.
Bama Country playing today's best country and all the country legends. Bama Country 98.9 WBAM. Listen to Bama Country 98.9 WBAM.
So Wetumpka, off the leg of Zachary Grindel, adds 3 points to his lead, and they lead to 16-0. Of course, that's all set up by the defense. Colton Adams with the huge interception early in the second quarter there.
That was huge, and that's probably at least a 6-point swing, would you say, Colt? Because they've got Kane, they've got a Colt with it, Adams with the return. They've got at least a field goal, Kane, and then if they don't do that and score a touchdown, so it could have been a 6-point swing or a 10-point swing.
Yeah, we could be looking at a 13-7 game, 13-3 instead of 16-0 with 6:22 left in the second quarter, as Grindel, who just put 3 on the board for the Indians, will do the kicking. And Zay Stows is back deep, the deepest of the return men for the Wildcats. Grindel's kick is away. Stows will take it from inside his 5. Has some blockers this time, but then decides to cut it to the left. Looks like he went away from his blocking.
He really did. That's a great point. He had some blocking up the right side and chose to go up the left side.
So it's going to be, again, right back at the 20. So the kick coverage for Wetumpka paying off here in the first half. Benjamin Russell drives with the exception pretty much of the fumble muff punt by Wetumpka have started from their 32 or around their 20-yard line on the other possessions. See if the Wildcats can get something going here to put in the end zone, as Young will be in the backfield, offset to the left. Contney calling the signals. And they're going to hand this one off. Young breaks loose, but makes the safety miss. He's across the 40. Out to the 42-yard line, a gain of 22 on the play, and that's his longest run of the season.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with Young. I mean, he has been kind of the guy that's run between the tackles, Keaton Young, but he runs hard and he gets positive yardage.
So 1st and 10 at the 42 for Benjamin Russell. They have that H back in there blocking right now, which looks like it's Gamble. Young gets it again, almost looks like the same play. This time, though, Wetumpka able to stand him up after maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to run the same play twice on Wetumpka at any point during the game. They're going to adjust, and they're not going to give that look to you the same time.
So Adams on the tackle for Wetumpka, the senior linebacker, so it's 2nd and 9. As this time we'll have 2 receivers here to the near side. That's going to be Gamble and McGee. Willis and Stows up to the left at the top of the screen. We're down to the 5:15 mark of the second quarter. Contney looks to the right. Now throws over the middle and overthrows his man there on the post route, bringing up 3rd down.
You can tell they don't run, and they're not comfortable running routes past 15 or 20 yards, Kane. They are so much more comfortable at 10 and in. Anytime they've tried to go down the field in that 20 to 15 range, it's been a struggle.
So 3rd and 9. For Benjamin Russell. This time it is Willis and Gamble at the bottom of our screen here. Stows is in the slot on the left. Throw over there on the far side is complete, and it's going to be McGee on the reception. He's going to have the 1st down out to the 45-yard line.
That's a big pickup right there on 3rd and 10. It gets 12. Nice little route to McGee.
Wildcats moving to Indian territory, ball resting at the Wetumpka 45-yard line. And it's been this area here where Wetumpka seems to kind of tighten it up here after a couple 1st downs on previous drives also. See what happens this time. Young offset to the left in the backfield. He's going to get the handoff and be able to drive forward for positive yardage for about maybe 4 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, Carl Russell does a nice job with some fresh legs, a back we haven't seen yet for Benjamin Russell. He gets a nice little pickup.
So my bad, Russell checked in there, 26. He stays in the game, so it'll be 2nd and 6. 4:15 left to halftime. Now Cottony looks to the sideline here. Change from the flip Russell to the right side of the formation. Wetumpka showing blitz. They back out of it the last second. Oh, there's Colton Adams dropping Russell in the backfield for a loss of 2 on the play.
Yeah, he almost took the handoff. I mean, he was in the backfield quickly. Made a nice defensive play there.
So 3rd down and 8 coming up here.
Official has a conversation with him about the posing afterwards. I saw the official go up to him and tell him not to do that. He could get flagged.
So 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. Cottony going to put it up in the air. Looks left, under pressure. And he can't escape it. He's dropped in the backfield for a loss on the play. Bringing up 4th down. And it looks like it was Lucas. Or check that, Cameron Jackson on the tackle.
Yeah, Jackson got tremendous push that time. The whole defensive line did, and Cottony had nowhere to go. Another big defensive stand for the Wetumpka defense.
So 4th down as the clock ticks toward the 3-minute mark. Gamble back on the punt. Malik Davis trots back out there for Wetumpka.
Malik Davis back deep for the Indians.
And Davis currently at his 15-yard line. Gamble gets a low snap, gets the kick away, has plenty of hang, and rolls dead at about the 21-yard line. So not as effective as his other punt was down at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he had a lot of hang time, but not much distance at all. And now Wetumpka up 16-0. Would like nothing more than to push one in before halftime, get a score, get a touchdown, or a field goal to extend this lead. Plenty of time. With 2:38, and I'm seeing 3 timeouts left, or you got 2 timeouts?
2 timeouts.
Okay.
So it should be 2 timeouts. They called one on the stop and delay a game on the drive.
You're correct. Absolutely right.
So Rawls, got the little 4-man diamond set over here on the near side for Wetumpka. And Rawls is going to take it himself, and Ben Russell not fooled at all by it on that play.
That comes from watching film right there. They must have seen something that Wetumpka likes to do out of that formation, and they were ready for it, Kane.
So Jackson on the tackle. Rawls loses a yard on the play. Bring up 2nd and 11. 2:15 clock running here till halftime. If you're just joining us, Wetumpka scored on the first play of the game after a long kickoff return by Brandon Bowman, and on their second play from scrimmage, they had a 69-yard touchdown run by D'Angelo Jones. Jump up 13-0 in the first 2 minutes. Rawls looking to throw, trying to set up the screen pass. Ben Russell has to dissect it, but Rawls is going to make a play himself. That's just all athletic ability by Mr. Rawls.
It really is, and we've said it before. Sounds like a broken record. That was a 4-yard loss that I guess he turns into a 7-yard gain. And if you're Benjamin Russell and want to get back in this football game, you've got to wrap up and make plays like that.
So 3rd and 10, 1:45 to halftime, 1:46 exactly, The clock has stopped. The ball resting at about the 24, 25-yard line on the far hash. Jones in the backfield. Rawls will fake it and take it himself. And he's going to have the 1st down before he's driven back, so he'll get forward progress out to about the 32-yard line. 7 yards and a 1st down for Wetumpka.
2 timeouts left. Wetumpka choosing not to take them yet. You're only at the 31-yard line.
So 1:35 to halftime. I'm going to give you a second quarter score, Darryl.
Okay.
Selma 6, Stanhope Elmore 3.
Wow.
So he just never know what's going to happen.
All that talk could be for naught.
So 1st and 10 here.
That game in Selma?
It's in Selma. Yeah. That is correct. So it's 1st and 10, 1:20, clock running to halftime. Rawls putting this one up in the air. Going deep on the far side over there. Good coverage and almost a spectacular catch on the far side. It was intended for Johnson. It goes incomplete.
That was great coverage that time by Benjamin Russell. Number 1, Gavin Edwards. Great coverage, stayed with him step for step, and turned around at the right time. Kana did a great job with his hands playing the ball.
So 2nd and 10, 1:05 left to halftime. Rawls has Terrence Thomas in the backfield this time with him. 2 receivers to each side. Looks like Rogers is far to the right along with Davis. Now Davis comes in motion. Rawls looks to the right. Can't find anything. Oh, he's going to wind up and throw it late down here looking for Bowman. A lot of contact. That's going to be pass interference on Benjamin Russell.
Yeah, that time there was no chance. Number 10, Jarvis Wilson, was all over Bowman that time. And good throw by Rawls. He led him, but Bowman was tied up by Wilson, and because of that 15-yard penalty with 56 seconds left to go.
So they'll march this off. Bowman made the explosive play on the kick return to start the game.
But that's a good play by Wilson at the high school level, the college level. You're going to get beat for –
and there's two flags. So we're going to have offsetting. We didn't even see the one way back here behind the line of scrimmage. Offsetting penalties. So that's really a break for Benjamin Russell here because it looked for all intents and purposes going to be a free 15. So 56 seconds left. Still 2nd down and 10. At the 33-yard line. Let's give credit to the chain crew for not moving the chains there because we've seen that in some other games this year.
Yes.
So this time they got the little diamond set out here to the near side with Bowman in the back of it. They're going to throw it to Bowman. It's going to be a double pass, though, but Bowman has no time to get rid of the football. Great coverage and pursuit by Benjamin Russell.
Yeah, they sniffed that out. That was a great job. The secondary of Benjamin Russell stayed with Johnson down the field. Timeout with Wetumpka.
So we're going to take it with them. 44 seconds left in the half. It's 16-0. The Indians lead it. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Good morning, Alabama.
How'd you sleep last night?
Don't miss the gigantic floor model clearance sale now through Saturday at Wolf Boys Bedding. Pillows and mattress protectors just $10. 50% off Sutherland floor models. 50% off floor model adjustable bases. And save up to $1,000 on qualified Jameson sets. Don't miss the gigantic floor model clearance sale now through Saturday at Wolf Boys Bedding. Don't count sheep, get a great night's sleep from Wolf Boys Bedding next to American Oak and more.
44 seconds left till halftime. 3rd and 10 for Wetumpka. Check that 3rd and 11 as Benjamin Russell was able to sniff out the double pass.
You know the weather has changed. We've got dew on our stuff now.
We do on our stat sheets.
I'm happy to have some dew. I'm here to tell you.
Empty set here for the Indians. Rawls looking, standing, has time, throws over here, looking for Rogers, and it's almost intercepted by Benjamin Russell. A spectacular attempt there for the Indians trying to stay in bounds. Or excuse me, for the Wildcats, that was Kobe Crabb on the coverage, not getting his hands on the football, bringing up 4th down.
Now here's the question: with 35 seconds left to go in the half, Benjamin Russell is going to get pretty decent field position. You're down 16-0. You have all 3 of your timeouts left. Do you, Kane, try to make a run at least to get some points before halftime? Because you receive, I think, the second half.
They get the ball to start second half. That's
as
right.
Well.
So Kobe Crabb is back deep. Grindle on the punt. And Benjamin Russell may have jumped off. No, the umpire's throwing that flag. Let's see.
Flag on the play.
Going to be a dead ball. False start on Wetumpka. So the Benjamin Russell linebacker ran up there and caused one of the linemen for Wetumpka to move. Backs it up 5 yards. As Crabb will move up to his own 40-yard line now to receive this punt. Good snap. Here comes some pressure. Grindle gets it off. Crabb comes up for the fair catch, takes it at his own 47, 48-yard line. So here's Benjamin Russell. They do have 3 timeouts, as you stated. They have a quarterback that can probably work the field here if they need to with the sideline passes. We've seen that. I would think Wetumpka would play off a little bit here with only 29 seconds to halftime.
29 seconds, running that intermediate passing offense. 3 timeouts, you've got enough, I think, for about 5 plays. You've got to get to about the 20-yard line, I think, to have a chance for a field goal. Yep. But how big would it be to get some points if you're Benjamin Russell before the half?
Yeah, Wilson Hayes, the field goal kicker, has 4 for 4 on the season on field goals for Benjamin Russell. So they probably have to get to about the 20. He took the 32-yarder last week against Opelika as Young comes back out there, running back. McGee down here at the bottom of the screen with Gamble. And now we have a whistle and a timeout by Benjamin Russell with 29 seconds. Play clock was about to go to 0. They took a lot of time on the sideline. We'll keep it right here during the timeout. They took a lot of time on the sideline. The ball was whistled in. They didn't get out there in time to get the snap off.
You hate to blow a timeout coming out of a dead ball possession, a punt like that. Now you've got 2 timeouts left. And that really kind of limits, I think, a little bit of what you can do offensively.
So 29 seconds of the half. The head official waving off of the delay game flag that was thrown from the back judge. So Wetumpka jumped out 13-0 quickly. They scored 13 points in the first 2 minutes and 12 seconds. We've seen that this year before on the Montgomery Sports Network. Our first game together, the Chilton County Sylacauga game. Sylacauga scored 14 in the first 2 minutes, and then Chilton County battled their way back and had an opportunity to win the game late. So Benjamin Russell's almost in that exact same situation here as they're going to get the ball to start the second half and with 29 seconds in good field position.
Yeah, I think if you're Benjamin Russell and you want to go down that road, I do believe it really would be huge for them to get some kind of points, though, going into halftime. Make this a 16-3 game where 2 touchdowns get you ahead. I just think from a confidence standpoint and a momentum standpoint, it would be huge for the Wildcats.
So 1st and 10 at the 47. Again, McGee and Gamble at the bottom of our screen. Stowe and Willis at the top. Cottney looking to throw. They throw it complete to McGee, and he's going to get to about the 45-yard line, picks up 8, and now a timeout taken by Benjamin Russell. Clock stop with 19 seconds left.
You could probably do that one more time, and then you're going to have to go down the field or deeper down the sidelines. You've basically taken away the middle of the field now. If you're Benjamin Russell, you can't go to the middle of the field. You can if it's maybe to the 20 and call a quick timeout and then run some end zone sideline routes. But that one timeout that they wasted coming out of the punt could really come back to hurt them about getting into field goal range.
So it'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 2 from the 45. Ball resting just inside the 45 of Wetumpka. Benjamin Russell here. Nice fall, cool, crisp night here in Wetumpka. Benjamin Russell trying to get some points before the half. They only scored 3 last week against Opelika. They were shut out on the road a few weeks ago against Stanhope Elmore, a team that defeated Wetumpka last week over in Millbrook. This time, Young stays in the backfield, and again, it's going to be Stowe and McGee at the bottom of our screen with Willis and Gamble at the top. Cottney looks to the right, throws out here, and is going to be caught by McGee on the sideline. Nice throw and catch. He gets out of bounds and stops the clock after a gain of 8.
Now that's an effective play right there. 8 yards, gets out of bounds. Now you do have the middle of the field as your option. If you can go 10, 15 yards on a little seam route down the middle of the field, you're in field goal range, and then you use your last timeout.
So last play gained 8 yards. It only took 5 seconds off the clock. Still 1 timeout remaining for Benjamin Russell. As again, McGee and Stowe. Stowe will come out here to the near side. Stowe's in the slot. Willis and Gamble to the left. Cottney looks right. Thoso is back out of the backfield. It goes off the hands of Young, incomplete. Bring up 2nd down. Play only took 3 seconds, though.
It would have gotten you about 6 yards, too, which is still not in field goal range. At some point, you're going to have to get the ball to about the 20, and you may have to use the middle of the field to do that.
So 11 seconds remaining, 11.2 officially here on the scoreboard clock off to our right. This time McGee goes off to the left with Stowe's. Gamble over there in the trips formation. Looks like Willis will come to the bottom of our screen play. Clock's at 10. Young works to the left side of the formation here in the backfield. Cottney surveys the defense. Wetumpka's going to rush forward. They're going to throw it out there to Stowe's. Makes the ground. Check that. It goes off his hands, incomplete. That play took 3 seconds. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
And I'm thinking with how Wetumpka was aligned defensively, he had a couple of blockers. He might have been able to get 6 or 7. But still, I think what they're doing in that situation is just chucking it and hoping that Stows can make a man miss, get out of bounds, or get within field goal range. Where you're at now, I think you've got one play, and you're probably going to have to go to the end zone with it.
So trips again to the left. Stows, the second receiver. Gamble, the inside receiver. Willis comes to the bottom of our screen on the right, one-on-one over here. Cotney looks left, pump fakes, now throws it to Stows out there. Makes the grab, and he's shoved out of bounds. The clock stops with 1.2 seconds left. That play only picked up about 3 yards there. And it's 4th down and 7 with 1.2 seconds left.
Yeah, probably just to throw into the end zone here, look for a tip. Keep in mind a pass interference or anything like that, a defensive penalty would extend an untimed down, one more play.
So trips to the right. Stows, the second receiver. The near receiver, going to be McGee. The slot receiver is going to be Gamble. Cotney looks. Can't find anybody. Now flushed out of play. He's got to throw. He's going to run out of bounds, and the clock's going to hit triple zeros here at halftime. So a strong start here on senior night for Wetumpka. They lead it 16-0 over the visitors from Alexander City, Benjamin Russell. We're going to take a timeout here on the Montgomery Sports Network, come back, get some halftime stats and so forth, and look at some scores. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks Incorporated is a locally owned and operated business in Montgomery, Alabama. And we've been in business since 1985 and served Montgomery and the surrounding counties with burglar bars, ironworks. Our philosophy is being honest, dependable, and treating each customer with respect and selling a quality product at a fair price. If you need burglar bars or ironwork of any kind, call Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks, Montgomery.
Check 1, 2.
US voice, and now it's back.
Yep.
The new Yo at 100.5 on your dial. Classic hip hop from back in the days. Tom Joyner in the morning and classic hip hop all day.
Taking it back.
This is Yo music. This is Yo music. The new Yo is back. Now at 100.5 on your radio. The new Yo 100.5. Classic hip hop.
It was 1917. Charlie Chaplin appeared as the Little Tramp, Walt Disney graduated from high school, and Woodrow Wilson was reelected president. And in Montgomery, Chris's sold their very first hot dog. Move forward to the 1950s. Hank Williams was hanging out at Chris's. Up through the 70s and 80s, many stars and politicians discovered Montgomery's little secret. Jump ahead to the new millennium. Riverwalk Stadium, the alleyway, and the new downtown. It's now 100 years later, and Chris's is still serving their world-famous hot dogs at 138 Dexter Avenue. How long has it been since you've tasted the city's most famous hot dog? Make Chris's part of your family history. Still family-owned and operated, Chris's makes every hot dog and hamburger to order. Take Chris's to your next party or event. Call-in orders are welcome. Online at chrishotdogs.com and on Facebook. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition.
Don't miss the gigantic floor model clearance sale now through Saturday at American Oak and More. Save up to 75%. Mirrors and latex pillows just $10. Rustic console was $11.88, now $3.99. Entertainment center was $35.08, now $6.99. Shop the clearance sale and save up to 75%. Be sure to check our Facebook page to see all clearance items. Interest-free financing available.
Like we've been saying for over 23 years, you don't pay with fake money, so don't settle for fake wood.
And welcome back to the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network, where Wetumpka, the homestanding Indians on senior night, lead the visitors Benjamin Russell by a score of 16-0. My name is Kane Young. I'm here with Daryl Dapprich. Daryl, We saw Wetumpka get out of the gate so fast, 13 points in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. But after that, the game's really settled down. It's kind of been a little bit of a slugfest for both teams.
You know, they kind of flipped the script. Remember last week we talked about one of the keys of the game to be a fast start. Wetumpka, they had been kind of starting slow. Well, they did the exact opposite tonight, and you could tell they were ready to play. But I tell you, I give Benjamin Russell all kind of credit because after those 2 quick touchdowns where they fell behind 13-0, they have played Wetumpka virtually even and have only given up the Grindle field goal. So 16-0, they had an opportunity inside the 10. Benjamin Russell did. The big interception by Adams. They had the ball here, and they really couldn't move it on Wetumpka's side of the field. But defensively, they've made some nice adjustments, I think, on Rawls. They've really contained him, bottled him up. And think about it. There hasn't been one pass complete deep. They've done a great job in the secondary on Rogers and Johnson and making sure that they haven't gotten free, or Bowman in the secondary. So whatever they've done defensively, they've played tough and have kind of played even from the middle of the second quarter.
So it's been a first 2 minutes, Wetumpka jumped out 13-0. They had the big kickoff return from Bowman, and then Jones scored on the 69-yard touchdown run. But as Darryl said, since that point, it's only been 3 points scored. The field goal by Zachary Grindle set up by the interception from Colton Adams. So we're here at halftime with Wetumpka leading 16-0. Still a lot of football left to be played here. Remind you, you're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. This is the Montgomery Sports Network. We have several ways you can watch it. You can go to our website, mymgmsports.com. We have our live game there, obviously, tonight. You can look at our archive games on demand. You can go to YouTube and search Montgomery Sports Network, and we have highlights there and games and full game broadcast there from the past games we've had. We also have, you can go to the Facebook page, like us on Facebook. We have highlights there. We also have, photos and stuff from games each night, and you can follow us on Twitter at mymgmsports. And send out information there about games and sponsorship and all that. So a lot going on here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Next week we will be in Montgomery as Montgomery Catholic will play host to TR Miller, which could be a potential region championship showdown next Friday night in Montgomery. So we'll be out there looking forward to going down to Catholic next weekend. So we're going to take a timeout here with our score: Wetumpka 16 and Benjamin Russell nothing. You're watching the Montgomery Sports Network.
I had a dream, a beautiful dream. I couldn't believe how real it seemed. Up on stage, in the field of green, on the winding river, and a song you'll sing. When I wake up, I'll see you here in Montgomery, where dreams come true.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company, and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
We're not your daddy's rock and roll station. 104.9, The Gump. Montgomery's alternative rock station. 104.9, The Gump. The only radio station in Montgomery playing new rock alternative. 104.9, The Gump. Montgomery's alternative rock station. 104.9, The Gump.
It was 1917. Charlie Chaplin appeared as the Little Tramp, Walt Disney graduated from high school, and Woodrow Wilson was reelected president. And in Montgomery, Chris's sold their very first hot dog. Move forward to the 1950s. Hank Williams was hanging out at Chris's. Up through the 70s and 80s, many stars and politicians discovered Montgomery's little secret. Jump ahead to the new millennium. Riverwalk Stadium, the alleyway, and the new downtown. It's now 100 years later, and Chris's is still serving their world-famous hot dogs at 138 Dexter Avenue. How long has it been since you've tasted the city's most famous hot dog? Make Chris's part of your family history. Still family owned and operated, Chris's makes every hot dog and hamburger to order. Take Chris's to your next party or event. Call-in orders are welcome. Online at chrishotdogs.com and on Facebook. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition.
Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks Incorporated is a locally owned and operated business in Montgomery, Alabama. And we've been in business since 1985 and served Montgomery and the surrounding counties with burglar bars, ironworks. Our philosophy is being honest, dependable, and treating each customer with respect and selling a quality product at a fair price. If you need burglar bars or ironwork of any kind, call Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks, Montgomery.
And welcome back to Hohenberg Stadium, where Wetumpka leads us 16-0. We're going to take a moment here on the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week to look at our halftime stats. Even on the first down, 5 for each team, but it's been the run game of Wetumpka, 154 on the ground for Wetumpka, only 10 in the air. Meanwhile, Ben Russell has been 80 through the air and 43 on the ground tonight, so 123 total for Ben Russell, 164 at this point for Wetumpka.
Yeah, definitely Wetumpka on pace to get that 200 to 250 yards rushing, which to me is kind of like the demarcation line in a football game. If you can rush it for 250 and hold your opponent around 100 to 125, you have a great chance to win the football game. The first down's a little misleading because Wetumpka scored on 2 plays. The first 2 times it touched the football. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the second half with Benjamin Russell receiving the second half kickoff. The stats right now, though, they really are telling the story. Wetumpka is controlling this game. Not through the air, though, and it'll be interesting to see if there's any kind of adjustments in the second half where Rawls can get going to Rogers to try to hook up like they did last week.
Yeah, last week on the Montgomery Sports Network, Wetumpka struggled in the first half passing football, but in that third quarter, Rogers just erupted for 4 catches and really kind of changed the game, the momentum of the game, but where Stanhope Elmore was able to pull out the victory. Each team with 1 turnover in the first half. The turnover for Ben Russell really hurt because they were down inside. They had first and goal at the 9-yard line when Colton Adams made the big interception, and it flipped field position as he returned it into Benjamin Russell territory.
Yeah, that's big. That's one of those when they're looking at the film and they're watching. That's a turning point in the football game. They had a chance at that point to make it 13-7?
Yep. If
they punch that in and kick the extra point, and as it is, Wetumpka gets a field goal out of it. So we talked about it before. It's at least a 6-point swing. Could have been a 10-point swing, and as we've seen tonight across the state, that's why you play the game. Anything can happen. People hanging in there.
So Class 6A Region 3 action here tonight. Wetumpka leading 16-0. The other scores of interest for this region, we have Opelika, a team we talked about having the big game against Stanhope Elmore coming up next weekend. Opelika only leads Calera 10-7 at the half. That game taking place up at Calera. And the other one over in Selma, Stanhope Elmore on the road, they have trailed the entire first half by a score of 8-3. They punched one in right before halftime to take a 10-8 lead into the locker room. So both those teams in major dogfights, almost identical scores at the moment on the road.
And that's just amazing. I mean, they're both Calera and Selma at the bottom of the pack in that region. Stanhope coming off that big win. I almost wondered if there was going to be a letdown. That is so natural. And you're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. You've beat your rival, who was the number 1 team in the state. Man, that letdown is going to happen. I've seen that a lot the last couple years just right down the road in Troy. Mm-hmm. They've played these big games.
Come back, get ready here for the second half. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week on the Montgomery Sports Network.
I had a dream, a beautiful dream. I couldn't believe how real it seemed. Up on stage, in the field of green, on the winding river, and a song you'll sing. When I wake up, I'll see you here in Montgomery, where dreams come true.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. customer service their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
We're not your daddy's rock and roll station. 104.9, The Gump. Montgomery's alternative rock station. 104.9, The Gump. The only radio station in Montgomery playing new rock alternative. 104.9, The Gump. Montgomery's alternative rock station. 104.9, The Gump.
It was 1917. Charlie Chaplin appeared as the Little Tramp, Walt Disney graduated from high school, and Woodrow Wilson was reelected president. And in Montgomery, Chris's sold their very first hot dog. Move forward to the 1950s. Hank Williams was hanging out at Chris's. Up through the 70s and 80s, many stars and politicians discovered Montgomery's little secret. Jump ahead to the new millennium, Riverwalk Stadium, the alleyway, and the new downtown. It's now 100 years later, and Chris's is still serving their world-famous hot dogs at 138 Dexter Avenue. How long has it been since you've tasted the city's most famous hot dog? Make Chris's part of your family history. Still family-owned and operated, Chris's makes every hot dog and hamburger to order. Take Chris's to your next party or event. Call-in orders are welcome. Online at chrishotdogs.com and on Facebook. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition.
Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks Incorporated is a locally owned and operated business in Montgomery, Alabama. And we've been in business since 1985 and served Montgomery and the surrounding counties with burglar bars, ironworks. Our philosophy is being honest, dependable, and treating each customer with respect and selling a quality product at a fair price. If you need burglar bars or ironwork of any kind, call Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks, Montgomery.
And welcome back to Hohenberg Stadium here in Wetumpka as the homestanding Indians on their senior night lead Benjamin Russell by a score of 16-0. Still got about 5 minutes or so here till we kick off the second half. A few other scores as we look around. Holtville up the road losing the leads at halftime by a score of 13-6. Holtville has actually won, I think, 2 or 3 games this year, which is good for them.
They've
been struggling.
And they beat Lincoln last week, which was a big upset for them.
Some other scores, Region 3, which is what we have tonight, Class 6A, they will be matched up against Region 1 in the playoffs. So Saraland, a potential opponent for either of these teams down the road, leads St. Paul's 28-0 in the second quarter. Daphne ahead of Robertsdale 7-6 at the half in that game. Other games, Maplesville leads Isabella 18-0. That's a rivalry up in Chilton County. Those schools only separated by about 5 miles. We'll have the Isabella-Verbena game in a few weeks on a Thursday night here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Another school we saw earlier this year, Darrell, that's ranked in the top 10 in the state in 5A, Sylacauga. They trail at the half to Center Point by a score of 18-0. Sylacauga's really started out 5-0, but this would be their second loss in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they're fading a little bit, and they got to try to get that righted as they get into the playoffs.
And as we said before, Opelika clear 10-7 at the half. Stanhill Belmore leads Selma at the half 10-8. Games of interest for both these teams, and I hate to keep harping on this fact, but again, all these schools that we covered here the last few weeks, Stanhill Belmore, Wetumpka, obviously Ben Russell tonight, 5 non-region games for these opponents are schools to find. And Opelika only has a 9-game schedule, so they obviously had trouble finding the 10th game out there, which is understandable.
That could kill them. Let's just speculate if it was a 3-way tie and both Opelika and Wetumpka had the opportunity to play the same, had the 6A, 7A record, and Wetumpka had one more win. If they had, they both had 2 losses, whatever, and Wetumpka had one more 6A or 7A win because they had one more game scheduled. I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah, and as we understand it, if it's a 3-way tie, they'll use non-region games, but only against equal competition or higher, so it has to be 6A or 7A schools. Stanhill Belmore has a win over Chilton County, but Chilton County's 5A. We had that game in our first contest of the year on the Montgomery Sports Network. They also have a game against Greenville in Week 11 down in Greenville, but again, Greenville's a 5A school, so that doesn't really help them out in that equation. Trying to overtake potentially Wetumpka in a 3-way tie. Wetumpka has the big victories over Fairhope and Northview, 7A, 6A schools over Buckhorn and Opelika. They had an out-of-state game against a school from Georgia, and here they only have a 9-game schedule. So there's almost no way that they could potentially catch Wetumpka in that race of non-region games.
It's interesting, too, more speculation. How does an out-of-state game register?
I don't think it registers.
So even if that's a school, let's say that's a classification similar to a 7A, it nulls and voids. I mean, it wipes it out.
Yeah.
So there you are going across state lines, playing a strong team, and that just wipes out, does nothing for you. So very, very interesting. Obviously, if you're an athletic director and you look at what the potential tiebreakers are, and if 2 years in a row you have a three-way tie, there's a trend there, you've got to schedule more 6A and 7A games because it'll hurt you.
Yeah, and it's tough. Interesting that Wetumpka and Stanhope-Elmore for years have been in with the Montgomery schools in region play, and neither of them have any of the Montgomery schools on their schedule. Lanier, Carver, or who's the other 6? I'm forgetting. Park Crossing.
Yeah, it's amazing when they're that close.
With distance and so forth. So,
well, none of those schools are going to come here and play. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You want to do that at home. I'm sure that Wetumpka and Stanhope would have been more than willing to go play one of them at Crampton Bowl. It's the returning of the favor there that I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, Wetumpka has a definite home field advantage here in their stadium. We saw Spanish Fort come up here last year on the Montgomery Sports Network and get run out of the stadium. I think it's the worst loss in Spanish Fort's short history as a football program. They usually turn the tables and do that to other opponents, and that night,
they just said, I've talked to some people that are affiliated with Spanish Fort, and they said they weren't ready for the noise.
Yeah.
They came down here. They've played some big boy football in Mobile, but this environment, in Mobile, if you've got 3, 4, 5 schools, I know there's different suburbs and regions, but this whole community shut down that night and was here. And, you're playing against a community in that scenario, and that was the difference.
Yeah, Wetumpka, that was a hungry team last year. It kind of opened up for them after they won that first game. They only had to go down to Montgomery to play Carver, and again, they basically took everybody down there. They had over 10,000 people at that game.
Yeah, that atmosphere, looking across, I did the PA announcing that night, looking across at Wetumpka's field. And I can remember back in the late 80s, early 90s when Lee and Jeff Davis was big and the bowl would be filled. That Spanish Fort Wetumpka game last year was one of the most exciting high school games I've ever seen in atmosphere.
Yeah, it was 21-21, and at one point it was tied 21-21, and Wetumpka just they were getting the non-offensive touchdowns, and just J.D. Martin was in smoke.
Oh,
Smoke were doing whatever they wanted to that night on offense. So this game here, we're about a minute from starting the second half. So Benjamin Russell's going to get the football here to start the second half. We've seen them go in the passing game, Landon Cotney 10 for 20 in the first half throwing the football. I don't think we've seen 20 attempts in a complete game from anybody this year, and we've seen 20 and a half here tonight from Benjamin Russell. It looks like they may be somewhat limited. You mentioned earlier about they seem to be uncomfortable getting the routes down the field here. What could they do differently here maybe in the second half to get jump started?
Well, if Wetumpka is going to jump those routes, and it looks like they were doing that late in the first half and the second quarter, they were starting to jump those routes and take that away. If Wetumpka is going to do that, you got to have to run some hitches and goes and keep them honest by going down the field a little bit.
The run game for Benjamin Russell in the first half, 43 yards on the ground. It was Keaton Young, the leading rusher for Benjamin Russell. He actually had a 22-yard game. They've had some nice first down runs, but then there was some other plays where they just been barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. Leading receiver in the first half for Benjamin Russell was Nick McGee. He had 5 receptions in the first half for a total of, I'm doing my math here real quickly, 52 yards in the first half. So they had a nice pitch and catch game with him. And then Gamble had 3 catches in the first half, and Zay Stows also had 2 receptions in the first half. But it's been a struggle to maintain get the 67-yard drives going here for the Wildcats, as Wetumpka will kick it off to start quarter number 3. And Benjamin Russell back deep is going to be Zay Stows again. And kicking off for Wetumpka will be Zach Grindle, who kicked a 32-yard field goal in the first half to give Wetumpka that final margin of 16-0 after 2 quarters. So here we go, getting ready to start the second half. Grindle, who's been kicking deep to Stows. Stows has a 93-yard kickoff return earlier this season for the Wildcats. And Stows is going to get onto this one at about a 7-yard line. This time he's going straight up the middle. It opens up for him. Stows across the 40. He's going to take it all the way. I don't see any flags on the field. Stows is going to take this one 93 yards for the touchdown, and just like that, Benjamin Russell is back in the contest.
Exactly what the doctor ordered from Benjamin Russell. You could not draw it up any better. Special teams, Wetumpka gets caught upfield, really upfield, and once he broke that level of containment at the 30-yard line, Stows was gone. We talked about him being their big-time threat and their big play threat on special teams, and man, is that exactly what the doctor ordered for Benjamin Russell.
And now Benjamin Russell looks like they may go for 2. The offense trying to huddle up here. The play clock's been whistled in. We thought maybe on the other return the Stows could have went up the middle, and then he kind of broke it back to the left and was just shut down at the 20.
Yeah, he
this time
made
he
that
followed his
adjustment.
blockers.
He
so,
did. Once he got past that containment, Kane, he was gone.
So 16-6, and Benjamin Russell was going to go for 2. Cotney with Young out there. They got stacked receivers to the left over there with Stows and McGee. Now Stows comes in motion, and we got movement up front on the interior of the Benjamin Russell line.
You wonder if they'll go ahead and kick it now. Yeah, they'll kick the extra point now because that point after becomes an 8-yard point for 2-point conversion, try for .2 conversion. Now it's kick the extra point.
So Wilson Hayes will do the kicking. Interesting story about him. He was out there retrieving footballs for Cotney in the spring, and he was just punting and kicking the ball back to Cotney instead of throwing it, and the coach asked him to come out and kick the ball. And here he is. He's the place kicker for Benjamin Russell. So the kick is up, and it's straight down the middle and good. So our new score, 11:45 left, third quarter. It is Wetumpka 16, Benjamin Russell 7. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week.
If you're injured on the job, the law requires your employer to pay your medical expenses and cover your lost wages for any work-related injury. Employers and their insurers often try to deny workers' compensation claims or limit your benefits. Whether you're totally disabled and cannot work, or if you've suffered some impairment, attorney Matt Matthews has years of experience litigating. For more information, go to the website protectingalworkers.com. That's protectingalworkers.com.
So much like the start of the game, fireworks to start the second half on special teams. Zay Stows, 93-yard kickoff return. Couldn't have scripted any better for Coach Smith to start the second half.
You know, you hate to play the what-if game because you don't know how the game's going to turn out if things happen differently. But if Benjamin Russell would have got at least a field goal at the end of the first half, you're talking about a 16-10 football game right now.
So Wilson Hayes will do the kicking. Thomas, the deepest of the return men. Thomas is going to come up and catch us at about the 13. And works across the 25 where he's met by a host of tacklers for Ben Russell. Finally driven out of bounds. The referees kind of let that go a long ways there before blowing the whistle.
Yeah, they sure did. Great job by Thomas to keep his feet moving, keep the leg drive going. And I believe it'll be, at about the 25-yard line?
Going to mark it at the 26 officially, so it'll be opportunity here for Wetumpka. Benjamin Russell defense kind of settled down there. The first drive wasn't really their fault, and then they gave the 69-yard touchdown run to Jones on one play. But since that point, they have really kind of settled in.
They really have. I mean, they were given the ball. You know, they had to defend the ball on their side of the field position after that interception return, and they held them to a field goal, which could loom large later in the football game.
So Rawls out there with Jones. Jones gets the handoff, left side, driven back immediately. May have got one on the play, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, they have really done a good job keying on Jones and taking him out of the game after the first quarter. I have a feeling if you're Wetumpka, you've got to get something going. You got to find Rogers and get him down the sideline. Remember, he was big play in the second half against Stanhope. And now they're putting so many people up at the line of scrimmage, you're going to have to throw the football.
Hezekiah Hunter on the tackle last time for Benjamin Russell. This was 2nd and 9. Thomas in motion, gets a handoff on a speed sweep, and cuts across the 30 for a short gain out to about the 31, bringing up about 3rd down and 5.
See, what this doing right now, Kane, is similar to what we saw with Stanhope. It's called giving a team hope and faith. And right now, if you watch the Benjamin Russell sidelines, they're jumping up and down. They're excited on every play. They're engaged. When you had an opportunity to really just take them right out of the game, I think if you go up 20-0.
So 3rd down and 5. Thomas comes back out. That was his first carry of the night. Jones back in there with Rawls in the backfield. Looks like Rogers is in the slot. Check that. They're going to hand us off to Davis coming near side. Davis trying to get the corner. He can't do it. A nice stop by the Benjamin Russell defense to start this 3rd quarter.
And look at their sideline. I mean, they are rejuvenated and fired up. Wetumpka goes 3 and out. And now the onus falls on the Indian defense. They have to make a play here, make a series of plays, and make Benjamin Russell go 3 and out because the momentum has definitely shifted.
So 4th down, punting situation. Grindle on the punt. Crab back deep for the Wildcats, standing at his own 35-yard line. 9:45 in the clock running here in the 3rd quarter. Oh, heavy pressure. Grindle gets it off, but that's going to be unreturnable, and Benjamin Russell is going to get very good field position at about their own 47-yard line or so.
Yeah, that's they score a touchdown. They keep Wetumpka 3 and out, and they get the ball at their own 47-yard line. So if you were drawing up the script at halftime, if you're Coach Smith, you couldn't ask for anything better.
So 9:31 left, and now Benjamin Russell's offense comes back out in the field, and having not touched the ball, and they get the free 7 points. They're going to sprint out with trips to the near side here, way out here by the numbers. Young in the backfield. He gets the handoff, works left, scores through the initial contact. Finally picks up about 5, maybe 6 in the play. Has a tackle that time by number 11, Samuel Jones.
And I'll tell you, the crowd for Wetumpka right now is very sullen, very down. They need to get going, give these kids some energy, get some support. They've just kind of been sitting on their hands all night, not been into it much, and they need to get kind of going and get some excitement.
Yeah, we talked about how rowdy this place was last year in the playoffs. Right now, just a few cowbells, not a whole lot of noise at the moment for the homestanding crowd. On 2nd and 4, Young gets it. He's going to work the left side. He's going to have the 1st down to the 41-yard line. So 5 yards for Keaton Young on the carry and a 1st down for Benjamin Russell.
He's been pretty effective tonight for Benjamin Russell. I mean, he had a 21-yard run. I think he had about 40 yards at halftime. I don't know for sure. Don't have the official statistics, but you know, if he has a 60, 70-yard rushing game, that really keeps the Wetumpka defense honest.
And very patient that time, picking the spot there. Check that, 1st and 10, 8.5 left, 3rd quarter. Young's going to get it coming to the near side. Avoids the first wave of Indians, and now a lay flag comes in. And I would assume that's offensive holding.
And that could be a big penalty because Young got 7 yards.
Check that. I think it might be face mask.
Yeah.
They're pointing towards the Benjamin Russell players are pointing towards Wetumpka. It is going to be personal foul, face mask. So Young had some contact there when he first came across the line. 15 yards, 1st down, Benjamin Russell.
Another undisciplined play that time, and giving them more of a field position advantage now.
So Wildcats on the move. 8:15 left, 3rd quarter here on the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. As Benjamin
now
Russell,
the crowd's starting to get going. They sense the urgency in a stop here and trying to do what they can to get their Indians fired up.
1st and 10 at the 27. Young gets it up the middle, across the 30, down to about the 28-yard line. Check that, across the 25, down to the 23. Picks up 4 yards on the play.
4 yards, and you know, it's amazing to hand the ball to him. It doesn't look like there's much there. He's getting 3 or 4 yards every time.
And we have an injured player for Wetumpka. And I did not get the number. As the player is holding his knee as Coach Perry is walking out. We're going to take a quick time out here. 7:47 left, 3rd quarter. It's Benjamin Russell 7, Wetumpka 16.
Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe, located on Zelda Road, minutes from downtown Montgomery, is one of the area's finest Mexican restaurants. From our great lunch selection and value to our tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something to offer all connoisseurs of fine Mexican dining. Come on down today and enjoy some great Mexican La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe on Zelda Road, minutes from downtown.
And we're back here at Wetumpka, where we think the injured player is Darren Nolan, one of the better defensive players for the Indians. Can't quite get a number as the trainer has his hand on the number area, but they're working on his left leg, it looks like, at the moment.
Again, we can't speculate because we really can't tell, but if it is Nolan, that would be devastating. He is, besides Adams and Lucas, he is one of the premier playmakers on the Wetumpka defense. He has been doing it all year, did it last year, and that would be a tough loss for the Indians.
So very quiet at the moment here. We're going to take another quick timeout. Once again, our score 16-7 in favor of Wetumpka.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
So it was Darren Nolan being helped off to the sideline here for Wetumpka as Benjamin Russell has 2nd and 7.
And we'll try to keep an eye on that. He's coming right to our sideline, our vantage point where we can see it. It looked like it was a knee, not an ankle. He's put no weight on it.
Trouble with the snap. They're looking to throw it, and now the quarterback is going to take off and try to get what he can. Cottney on the carry. He's going to get down to about the 20. Bring up a 3rd down and about 3 or 4 here for Benjamin Russell.
Yeah, broken play that time. Cottney's lucky to even get a yard out of it.
So 3rd down. The ball resting at the 20. Call it 3rd down and 4.
Well, they gave him 3 on that
play. So they got to get to about the 16 here for a 1st down. They should be in field goal range if it comes to that point. Young is offset to the right. Now the stand's starting to shake here on the home side below us as the band starts to play that war chant off to our right.
That's a delay of game.
Yeah.
It's a playoff.
Yeah, play clock right now. Hey, give that one. Give credit to the home fans and the band on that one.
Yeah, they did because they couldn't get the play in and they couldn't communicate. And once the war chant started getting, ratcheted up there, and Coach Perry's coming over to check on Nolan, and I would too if I was the head coach of Wetumpka. He gives him a pat of encouragement. We can't see our vantage point, Kane. He's underneath the bleachers a little bit. We can't tell what they're working on.
So 3rd down and 9 for the Wildcats. Should be a passing situation this time. Stowe is off to the far right. Cottney looks. Stowe's back over there to the left and on the sideline. They're going to say out of bounds, incomplete. He was looking for McGee. McGee could not get his foot dragged inbounds.
Yeah, if he does, that's a big 1st down and 11 yards. And they'd have been inside the 15. So as it is now, 4th and 9, and it looks like they're keeping the offense on the field.
Yeah, they may be just outside of the field goal range here for Wilson Hayes. Again, we'll have to wonder if we see a challenge out there. We have not seen. We have the replay booth off to our right here on the sideline, but it looks like Benjamin Russell's going to go for it on 4th and 9.
And get ready to strike up the band again. You're going to hear it. It's going to be loud.
McGee and Stowe's off to our right. Cottney looks left. Has time, steps up now. Under pressure, he's going to get rid of it. Oh, he drops the football, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Wetumpka defense.
Good job that time by the Wetumpka defense. They did their job after a 3 and out. Benjamin Russell did move the ball down the field, but Wetumpka, that bend, don't break mentality, even after watching one of their defensive leaders, Nolan, get helped off the field. And I think Coach Perry's back over there right now again. Yep. No, he's not. He's actually on the 32-yard line.
And one of the assistant coaches down here.
One of the assistant coaches is.
So 1st and 10 for the Indians on their own 30. Check their own 27. And now some movement up front, and that's going to go against Wetumpka.
Yeah, well, Wetumpka's pointing towards Benjamin Russell, but it was against Wetumpka. And those are the kind of penalties that will kill you. Coming out of post-possession penalties, you're lined up, you've got time. Now you change the play call.
So 5-yard penalty against the Indians. That is their 3rd penalty of the night for 30 yards. 6:07 left now. Rawls going to take it himself. Dances to the left. Across the 25. He may have made it back to the original line of scrimmage on that carry.
Yeah, gets back with most of what they lost there. They've got to throw the ball downfield, Kane. I think that Benjamin Russell's defense now is really taking advantage of the fact that Wetumpka's become one-dimensional.
So Hezekiah Hunter on the tackle there. Wetumpka running a lot of players in and out here. Jones offset to the left. Still 15 on the play clock. Now he flips to the right side of Rawls. Jones gets it, and he is dropped in the backfield by a host of Wildcats that time. Good defense for Benjamin Russell. Looked like Brett Pitts, number 22, the inside linebacker, making the initial contact.
Inside linebacker Pitts, leading tackler, 57 tackles so far on the year for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. And they are keying on Jones. I mean, at one point you may want to pull that out, one of the quarterback read, 3rd and 14.
First time tonight Jones has lost yardage on a carry. Under 5 to play, 3rd quarter here in Wetumpka. Number 6 ranked Indians leading 16-7. Jones works to the right side. Rawls going to look to throw. Going for Rogers over the middle. It goes incomplete, and had the linebacker had his eyes on the football, he might have been able to pick that off.
He really would have, and I mean he was just zoned in on Rogers that time. 2 really inconsistent kind of offensive possessions here for Wetumpka that stalled.
Clock stop, 4:43 left, 3rd quarter. As Grindle comes back on the punt, it is Crabb back deep for the Wildcats. And Benjamin Russell should get great field position out of this again. High snap. Grindle gets it away. Crabb takes it left, trying to get to the sideline. Stutter steps for a second and quickly is dropped out there right around midfield that time. Colton Adams on the punt coverage that time for Wetumpka.
Did a good job. They did not allow him to get outside, and if he would have gotten outside, he might have had some room.
So 1st and 10 for Benjamin Russell. They had the ball exactly at midfield with 4:31 left, 3rd quarter. An opportunity presents himself to draw closer to the Indians. Stowe's down at the bottom of the screen here. They're going to look to throw the slant in, and it's knocked away that time by Samuel Jones for Wetumpka.
There's just nothing in the middle of the field for Benjamin Russell. Everything they've tried to run, any kind of slant, any kind of stop where you just sit right down in the middle of the zone, in the middle of the field, they cannot complete that pass. Wetumpka's doing a good job of jumping that route.
This is 2nd down and 10. They were looking for Willis that time on the slant in. That's a go knocked away by Jones. Called his name several times tonight for the Indians. Here's a handoff, Young, working left side. Bounces it out now. Gets to the sideline. He's over close to the 1st down marker near the 41-yard line.
Yeah, if you're Wetumpka, you're the defensive coordinator, you've got to be upset about that. You have him stop for a 2 or 3 yard gain. You let him bounce it outside and get 9.
3rd and 1 at the 41. They have to get exactly to about the 40 here for the 1st down.
And they're in 4-down territory.
Yes, I would completely agree with that, Darryl. Young work off to the left this time. He gets the call. Left side. Oh, he stood up. I don't think he got it.
I don't think so either. Even forward, yeah, even forward progress didn't get it.
So nice job by the Wetumpka defense. Adams in there on the contact for Wetumpka. 4th down. And it looks like Benjamin Russell is going to go for this. 3.5 left, and the clock runs here in the 3rd quarter. They bring in the heavy package here. We'll see if they go direct snap. Looks like Russell's in the backfield also. Cotney's going to go under center. Actually, they're going to the wishbone here with Young and Russell in the backfield. They give it to Russell, left side. He's hit, but he's going to fall forward and have the 1st down.
Yeah, that's just because he lunged. That's a good job that time of getting the ball, knowing where the 1st down, where Cox is, and just falling forward.
So 1st and 10 for the Indians, for the Wildcats under 3 to play here in the 1st quarter or 3rd quarter, excuse me. So they go trips here to the near side. Young stays in the backfield. Young gets it. Kind of tiptoes up there into the pile. They push it forward down towards the 35. It's going to be a gain of 4 on first down.
Moving the pile, I mean, that's impressive. Small back, diminutive back, and yet he's still got 3 or 4 yards.
So it's going to be second down and 6 for Wetumpka. This time Carl Russell back in the backfield here for Benjamin Russell for the Wildcats. They have duplicate numbers on the uniform, so you may hear Coxer, but I think that's Russell's listed as the running back for the Wildcats. Russell gets it, falls forward inside the 35, down to about the 32, bringing up a third down and about 3.
Yeah, that is Russell. They got Cox and Russell both listed as number 26. They got one as a wide receiver, one as a running back. You can't do that. You can't have 2 offensive players.
They can't be on the field at the same time or it'd be a penalty. So I haven't seen Cox line up a receiver. They pretty much stay with the same 4 all night. Nevertheless, third down and 2 we'll call it. We'll go to the scoreboard here at the 32. Russell gets it right side. Oh, a nice tackle that time by Colton Adams. He's going to drop him short of the first down.
That's a big, big play. And you have to, especially with Nolan being on the sidelines, you've got to step up. And that's exactly what Adams did.
4th and 1, they're going to go for it again. They're going to go wishbone again here for Benjamin Russell. Shades of legendary coach Danny Horn run that wishbone a lot when he was at Ben Russell. And Coach Smith, obviously the assistant there for a long time, implementing it into his program. Young gets it right side. He's hit. He's not going to have it. And the Wetumpka defense stands up. It looks like Adams made the initial contact Jones made initial contact and Adams cleaned up the mess.
Well, you're not going to go east-west on this Wetumpka defense. They're just too fast sideline to sideline, and Wetumpka did a great job of bowing its neck and getting another stop. That has got to carry over now to the offense and the momentum and the enthusiasm and the excitement, and Wetumpka needs to put together a drive here and get some points.
So 1st and 10 for the Wetumpka defense. Another turnover on downs here, well into their own territory. 52 seconds left in the fast-moving third quarter. This time they're going to the full house backfield. Terrence Thomas takes the snap, works left, cannot get outside. A nice job by the Benjamin Russell defense, standing him up at the point of attack.
Yeah, they don't snap the ball to Jones that time. They go to Thomas direct snap.
Ja'Cory Gonzalez made the initial contact for Benjamin Russell.
Nice play by Gonzalez, and he gets stopped for no gain. Well, they gave him 1.
I don't know how, but according to the scoreboard, they gave him 1. So we'll go with it. So 2nd and 9. Only Thomas' second carry of the night. Rawls back in there now. Rawls is going to roll the pocket to the right. It's going to be a quarterback keep the whole way. He's trying to get the corner. And flying up there is a safety for Benjamin Russell, making a huge hit. And now a flag comes in. I think it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Benjamin Russell.
And that could be a big undisciplined penalty if you're Benjamin Russell. The way you're playing defense right now.
Gavin Edwards came flying up there, made the hit. I don't think the penalty was on him, though. I think it was one of the other players.
I thought Rawls had the corner, and I thought he was going to get at least 10.
It looked like he had some blocking out there, but personal foul. They're calling personal foul on Benjamin Russell.
That's big, too. You've got to stay disciplined in that situation. You've got him 3rd and 9, and now Wetumpka's got the ball close to midfield.
And the Ben Russell fans on the other side not happy, voicing their displeasure with that call. 12 seconds left, third quarter. The clock will start on the snap as Lucas is in the backfield, or actually in the slot. The defensive lineman now goes to the right. And they're going to hand this off. Check that. Rawls is going to pull it to the last second. Get the sideline over here across the 40. He's going to have another first down. Nice read that time by Rawls.
Yeah, Rawls has got to be careful. He's jawing with the Benjamin Russell player, and you could get an unsportsmanlike conduct pretty quick if you cannot do that. That's taunting.
And the clock will hit triple zeros here in the third quarter with Wetumpka on the move. Our score at the end of 3, Wetumpka 16, Benjamin Russell 7. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company, and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
97.9 Jams, the new home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Hey, what up? This is your boy Ricky Smiley from the Ricky Smiley Morning Show on my new home, Montgomery, the Gump. ASU, what's up?
Throwback Quickie Mix at noon, the live drive at 5, and Top 5 at 9. Your favorite jams are on now. Drake, Rihanna, T.I., Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, and Beyonce are all at 979jams.com. And on your radio at 97.9. Tune in and turn up. 97.9 Jams.
And fourth quarter about to get underway here as D'Angelo Jones fumbles a snap in the backfield. He's going to lose about 4 yards on first down, Darryl. We saw that last week against Stanhope Elmore.
We did, and he almost fumbled it in the end zone when he was down in the Wildcat here in the first quarter. That could be big.
So 2nd and 14, couple of scores of interest. Opelika leads Calera now. Has regained control of that game, 23-7 late third quarter. Stanhope Elmore still only up 10-8 on Selma in the third quarter. So both these schools interested in what's going on in those region games as we go to under 11.5 left here in this contest as Rawls back there, quarterback. They go empty for the moment. Thomas in motion. Rawls pulls it. This time the Benjamin Russell defense is not fooled, as it was Kashari Ross on the tackle for the Wildcats.
You know, you got to just really tip your hat to the Wildcat defense. They have done such a good job with about midway through the second quarter with the adjustments. Wetumpka has such a potent running game, and they are getting nothing, no penetration, nothing past the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 18, and we have not heard from E.J. Rogers all night. This could be an opportunity maybe, but they've had him bottled up. Just 2 receivers to each side. Rawls going to look to throw. He's under heavy pressure again. He escapes, throws it late, and it's complete over there on the far side. And that is going to be Rogers coming to the near side. And on cue, E.J. Rogers driving inside the 25-yard line for the first down.
You definitely need your own 1-900 number. You were prophetic on that. We said you needed to get Rogers going, and what a huge play. Broke 3 tackles. He didn't have the first down in the initial catch, but that's a big play by E.J. Rogers.
Yeah, they had him on the catch. He was a good 8-10 yards from the first down marker, and he did all that on his own. So new life for the Indians, 10-15 clock running as Thomas in the backfield here with Rawls. They're going to throw it out here complete. It's going to be Bowman on the carry or catch. He's going to get to about the 20, and that's about a gain of 3, and that's it.
If you're Benjamin Russell, though, you got to be sick. 3rd and 18, and you give up a first down. You're 9 points away.
And then they had the personal foul right before there in the third quarter. So they had them stopped literally twice and have given the Indians new life as we go under 10 minutes to play now here in this contest. 2nd and we'll call it 8. Thomas stays in there running back with Rawls. This time, though, he goes in that pistol set behind the quarterback. Thomas gets it, has some blockers out there. They kind of pulled the guard and tackle that time. He's down to about the 15-yard line.
That's a good call right there, because if Rawls does that 1 or 2 more times, then he pulls that, he could probably just waltz in the end zone.
Pitts on the tackle for Benjamin Russell. 9-10, clock continues to move here. Well, if you're Benjamin Russell here, you got to hold him to a field goal.
You really do. If you want any chance to stay in this football game with 9 minutes left, you do have to hold him to a field goal.
Thomas stays in the backfield. Rawls takes it himself, follows Thomas's block. He's going to drive to about the 10. He's going to have the first down. Now the question is 1st and goal. So 8 picked up a 4. First down for Wetumpka.
That play good for another Indian. First down.
I don't know. I'd put Jones back in that Wildcat. I know he fumbled it over here, but I give him a chance to redeem himself and just snap it to him 3 times.
So they're going to say 1st and goal at the 10. Chains have not moved, so they'll have to get it into the end zone here. 8.5 left in the fourth quarter on the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. Thomas stays in the backfield with Rawls. They get the snap off of 1 on the play clock, and now we got a whistle over here. I think Coach Perry took a timeout before the snap, and that's what we're going to get. So a timeout taken by Wetumpka. 8-9-19 left in this contest. It's the Indians 16, the Wildcats 7. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Good morning, Alabama. How'd you sleep last night?
Don't miss the gigantic floor model clearance sale now through Saturday at Wolf Boys Bedding. Pillows and mattress protectors just $10. 50% off Sutherland floor models. 50% off floor model adjustable bases. And save up to $1,000 on qualified Jameson sets. Don't miss the gigantic floor model clearance sale now through Saturday at Wolf Boys Bedding. Don't count sheep, get a great night's sleep from Wolf Boys Bedding next to American Oak and More.
Yeah. All right, we're back here at Wetumpka. Other scores, Stanhope Elmore has regained control. It seems like in some they lead a 17-8 third quarter. And down in Montgomery, Westside Classic, surprise, Carver moved into the top 10 in the state rankings. They trail Sidney Lanier 28-7 third quarter.
That is a big, big surprise.
So here is Thomas in the backfield behind Rawls. It's going to be a trick play here. They're going to try to get to Malik Davis. Davis escapes one tackle in the backfield. Driving down to about the 5-yard line. Ben Russell had to dissect it, but Davis was able to get out of the tackle for a loss.
And the corner for Benjamin Russell, this boundary corner on this side, slipped and fell down, and Davis was able to run right by him. He was in position to make the play if he keeps his feet.
So gain 7 on the play. 2nd and goal from the 3. Here comes your full house with Adams and Lucas. Or not? Is Lucas back in? Let me double check. Yeah, Lucas is in there. And it's going to be D'Angelo Jones, as you called it a few minutes ago, Darryl, taking the direct snap. Now they flip the formation. We saw this last week against Stanhope Elmore, and it worked for a touchdown. Jones fumbles the snap again. He's going to be dropped for a loss back about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, that's 3 times tonight. But he cannot field the snap cleanly. And you've got that push. The offensive line for Wetumpka had the push. If you field that snap cleanly, you go into the end zone.
So now, critical play here for both teams, especially for Ben Russell's defense. They got to try to find a way to hold them to a field goal attempt. Clock continues to tick towards the 7-minute mark as Rawls checks back in with a host of receivers. Terrence Thomas comes back with him. Malik Davis in the slot to the left. Rogers down here at the bottom of the screen to our right. Rawls is going to roll the pocket. He's going to look for Rogers. Throws it towards Rogers. Rogers catches it for a touchdown. Nice throw and catch that time for the Indians.
Anytime they need a big play through the passing game, E.J. Rogers just stepped up huge. He basically got them in position to get some points and then scores the touchdown. That just might do it. I don't want to write Benjamin Russell off, but I think it's going to be a little bit big to overcome. And that drive was kept alive. Think about it, Kane, by that personal foul penalty.
So, extra point attempt here for Grindle. 6:46 left here. Good snap and spot. Grindle's kick is up, and it's true. So our new score, Wetumpka 23, Benjamin Russell 7. You're watching the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech 334-209-4590.
And we're back here in Wetumpka. The homestanding Indians on senior night have regained control of this contest, lead at 23-7, as Zachary Grindle will try to attempt to kick it off. The last drive culminating in the touchdown pass from Tyquan Rawls to E.J. Rogers. Rogers with a nice route that time, Darryl, to get open.
Really was. You mentioned it off the air. How he planted his foot and just went right to the corner. That's getting separation, and it makes it virtually impossible to defend.
So Stowe's back deep. He's accounted for the only points tonight for Benjamin Russell. A 93-yard kickoff return. We'll see if the Indians give him another shot or they'll go short.
They're working on 7 quarters right now, Benjamin Russell, without an offensive touchdown.
Well, Stowe's is going to get another opportunity here. He takes it at the 5. This time cuts to the left, and that's the Wetumpka coverage. Excellent like it was in the first half on this occasion.
Yeah, they made the adjustment. They got that corrected. Now Benjamin Russell, who doesn't have big play capability, doesn't make splash plays, really has to take a lot of time to go methodically down the field. It's 6:39, 2 scores.
It's 2 scores and two two-point conversions can still tie the game, but as you said, they have not gotten the ball into the end zone offensively this evening. It seems like when they get to about the 30-yard line, they kind of sputter out. They'll go with trips to the far sideline here. Young's in the backfield this time as the running back. They're going to look to throw it out there to the far side, and it goes, well, incomplete, I believe. They was throwing McGee can't come up with the football. Bring up second down.
Just to kind of keep our viewers posted, I'm watching players, assistant coaches come over to Nolan, who's sitting underneath the bleachers, and pat him on the shoulder pads and kind of give him some comfort. So, we don't know exactly what the injury is. He's got his helmet off. He's sitting there. But there is some consoling going on, and that always concerns you.
6:35 left, 2nd and 10. McGee comes to the near side. Stows is off to the far right. Cotney looks, throws, and there's some contact there. And here comes a flag, and that is either going to be interference or maybe a late hit here on Wetumpka.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the defenseless receiver thing. He did have his hands on the ball, but it was incomplete. You got to be smart knowing to pull up, and there's more of that undisciplined.
Calling pass interference officially here against Wetumpka.
So that was just he got there early before the ball did. And if you're a defensive coach, you'd rather see that penalty than the undisciplined penalty.
So 2nd down and 10. Or check out 1st and 10 now for the Wildcats. 6.5 left. The clock will start on the snap. They got that trips to the far side over there again. Young gets the handoff. This time, not much happening there as he is met by a host of Indians, bringing up a 2nd and long.
Yeah, nothing doing that time by Young. Wetumpka's made an adjustment along their defensive front. I've watched their tackles, Kane, when they line up, they're getting a little closer together because Young was running through that gap, and they're stacking shoulder pads to shoulder pads a little closer on the line of scrimmage, not giving him much running room.
Under 6 to play here in the 4th quarter. Looking to throw here to the right. Heavy pressure by Wetumpka, and it's going to be a sack of Cotney for the Indians. And I think that's the defensive replacement for Wetumpka. Number 33, Trey Tucker, making the tackle.
Yeah, that's big for Wetumpka, next man up. One thing Cotney's done well tonight is get rid of the football. It's only the 2nd sack for Wetumpka. He's gotten rid of it, but that short intermediate passing game lends itself to that. That time, Cotney held onto the football a little too long, and he gets sacked, and Wetumpka's defense can smell it now.
5:20 left. A lot of noise here coming from the cowbells below us, from the home fans. Cotney looks right. Oh, heavy pressure again. He's forced out of the pocket. Throws late across the middle. It goes incomplete. His receiver, McGee, had an opportunity to get it, could not come up with it, and it's 4th down.
As a receiver there, you got to come back to the football, help your quarterback out a little bit. When he's scrambling like that, come back. He didn't. He stayed in the route tree deep, and because of that, it was incomplete. Benjamin Russell has, they're going to bring the punting team on.
Yeah, they're 4th down on 4th and 12, 13 here for the Wildcats, as they're going to attempt to punt the football.
2 or 3 first downs here for Wetumpka, although they do have 3 timeouts, Benjamin Russell does.
Sam Jones back deep for the Indians. This time the field to punt. No pressure. They're going to let him kick it. And no one's going to be able to return this one. Hits at about the 40 and drops right there. The universal call for the bad punt. Here we hear from the coaches, Peter, up here by the Wetumpka staff. So,
yeah.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Indians on the 40. 4:56 left. And
if you're Wetumpka, obviously you run the football here. I mean, 4:56. You're up 23-7. No reason to stop the clock with any incomplete passes. Just run the football. If they stop you 3 and out, punt it. Back in bad field position for Benjamin Russell. Let your defense win the game for you.
So we see Thomas and Jones back there with Rawls. Thomas gets it near side and escapes the initial contact and is going to move across the 40 to about the 42 and pick up a 2 on the play.
And you can tell, I mean, Benjamin Russell is selling out for the run. They're at the line of scrimmage, their penetration, but they know what Wetumpka is going to do. Wetumpka just needs to keep doing it. It's about execution at this point, hat on hat, get a couple blocks, get a first down.
So 4.5, and the clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. Thomas, the lone back, this time offset to the left of Rawls. Rawls is going to throw it out there. That pass is complete to Bowman, and he's going to be dropped out there in the open field. A nice tackle that time for Benjamin Russell.
I'm really surprised. I mean, that's a safe pass, though. It's like a run. I mean, a 3 or 4 yard pass. But if that's incomplete, clock stops.
Richard Green on the tackle there in space for the Wildcats, bringing up a 3rd down and 6 from the 44. 3:52 and counting here. Thomas still in the backfield with Rawls. And Rawls is going to put it up in the air. Going deep down the far sideline over there. He was looking for Malik Davis. It goes incomplete and stops the clock with 3:35 remaining.
Well, they're not living in their fears, as head coaches like to say, and they obviously trust their Wetumpka defense. I mean, what that does is that sends a signal, if you're a head coach, to your defense that I'm going to throw it. I don't care if the clock stops or not. I know you're going to be able to do the job in holding Benjamin Russell.
And the Wetumpka defense has not given up the point tonight. The lone points for Benjamin Russell so far have come on special teams on the kick return by Stows to start the second half. As Crabb is back deep to receive the kick. Benjamin Russell coming after this punt, though. Kick is away. Fair catch called for by Crabb. He takes it at about his own 28-yard line. So 3:29 left, 3:28 now. They finally stop the clock here. And same situation we just had about 4 minutes ago, Darryl. Benjamin Russell still down 2 scores, 16 points. Still technically in the game, but they got to find a way to get some big plays.
When you're not quick strike, it's very difficult. And, you can't – we've seen the middle of the field has been completely taken away. Wetumpka has done a great job. They've given them sideline routes, 8 to 10 yards. I have not seen Cottney try to go down the field at all on a deep route. So if you're Benjamin Russell right now, your options are limited to what you can do offensively. Wetumpka knows that, and they will line up their defense accordingly.
So McGee and Stowe's down here at the bottom of the screen. Willis and Gamble at the top of the screen. Cottney looks left and goes for that slant in there. He's looking for Willis. It goes incomplete. Bring up 2nd down.
I mean, you would ask why with 3:25 do you run a 5-yard hitch? It's all you can do. I mean, that's what their offense is designed to do. That's what it's built to do, and they can't get out of that mold, so to speak.
So this time Stowe will go to the right of the formation. Willis comes into the slot here on the near side. Gamble off to the right. They're going to look to put it up. Cottney goes out here, and it's incomplete. Knocked away there. Some nice defense that time for Wetumpka. The pass was intended, was looking for Gamble. It goes incomplete.
Yeah, that was great coverage. He broke on the ball really, really quickly to knock that down.
So 3rd down here and 10. 3:18 left.
Crowd definitely thinning out.
Yeah, they're starting to make their way out here.
Which is fine with me. Let's clear the parking.
You got a home game here tonight. So, so 3rd down and 10. Trips to the near side. They look for the slant. McGee catch it. They can't hang on to it. It goes incomplete. 4th down, and you've got to figure Ben Russell's going to go for it here.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they got to get 10 yards, so they got to stop running these 5-yard routes now. They got to get past the sticks to keep the clock going.
So 3:12 left. As the Wildcats, they're visiting side. Some of the fans are starting to make their way out of the stadium also. They got to make the drive back up to Alexander City, about 45 minutes north of here, northeast. Gamble And Willis, the near side receivers. High snap. Cotton, he does a nice drop to catch it. They set up a screen pass to Young. Oh, this is going to open up for him. Young's going to have the first down across the 40. Spins out of a tackle. He's out the midfield. A gain of 22 and a first down.
Good play call, and they probably could have used that earlier tonight because of the way the upfield rush has been for Wetumpka. That's when you want to throw the screen, and so that was effective in that situation.
So 22 yards. First down for the Wildcats. The clock is whistled in. 3:05 and ticking at this moment. Trips to the far side. Cottony's going to look to the right. He can't find anything, and now he's dropped in the backfield. That could have been a late hit.
Yeah.
No flag called that time, thrown that time. Loss of 4 in the play. It almost looked like Cottony kind of just tripped over some lineman's feet falling down there.
You don't want to take your timeouts on the bus with you, so if I'm Benjamin Russell, I'm wondering why you're not calling it. Coach Smith needs to call a timeout here, give himself a chance.
2:30 and running. Wildcats looking to the sideline for a play. Wetumpka content to let that clock run. Play clock still has 15 on it. Now down to 2:20. Cottony looks, trying to look for a deep route this time, and goes on a throw across the middle here to Willis, but there's a flag in the area of offensive holding.
You're running that little slant route, that little drag route across the middle. Wetumpka is more than happy just to let them catch it in front of them and then wrap up and tackle.
So they could decline it, and it'd be 3rd and 10. Oh, check that. Personal foul. Face mask on Wetumpka in the line area. I did not see that coming.
I didn't either.
So 15 yards, and it looks like Cameron Jackson comes out to the sideline, so I'm going to have to assume the penalty was on him. The defensive line for Wetumpka. So here's the Wildcats. 2:02 left, and 1st and 10 at the 35. The clock is now running, so we go under 2 minutes here. Trips to the right. McGee over there with Gamble and Stows. Willis is off to the left by himself. Cottony looks to the right. Throws it over there. It's complete to Gamble. Gamble's going to get out of bounds on the sideline, and he's going to pick up about 9 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 1.
You know, they're going to obviously, if they score a touchdown here, they'll go for 2, and then the onside kick. Maybe that's why he's saving his timeouts.
So 1:37. The clock will not start until it's snapped as Gamble was able to get out of bounds there after the pickup of 9.
Okay, and I would think if they ran a little hitch and go with the way Wetumpka's sitting on these routes, they may have some wide open spaces.
And I think you'd have time to throw it. They've been doing a pretty good job of protection most of the night. Cottony here this time throws it, and it goes incomplete. He was looking for Stows out here at about the 25.
It looked like there was a little route confusion there. I think Stows cut it off a little early, where Cottony thought he was going to go up the sideline a little bit.
Clock stopped, 1:32 remaining. And we get the war chant again here from the Wetumpka band. Let's give a shout out to the Wetumpka band. They just played the Rocky Balboa theme. Gonna fly now. So
they did.
We got to mention that when it happens here. So 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. Young offset to the right. Oh, they fumbled the snap, and Cottony falls on it. It was going to be a handoff to Young. Cottony unable to come up with the high snap, falls on it. Now it's 4th down and about 6. Don't you got to take a timeout here? Clock continues to run.
Yeah, it's almost
20.
like he's conceding to me. And he's still letting the clock run. No hurry up, no rushing the plays in. It's no huddle, but they're taking 15 seconds to get the play in.
Yeah, play clock now down to 11:10, still running. Game clock exactly at a minute and continues to run. They're not going to get a playoff here. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't think they're paying attention. The clock hits 0. They may have got a timeout from the side there, so Benjamin Russell wastes 25 seconds. That leaves them with 49 seconds left here in this contest. So
there was just
no sense of urgency.
No sense of urgency on this drive. No sense of urgency to score. The routes that they chose to run wasn't conducive to getting them down the field. I mean, 1 or 2 plays in the end zone, take a chance, go for 2, kick the extra, kick the onside kick. And, I don't know. It's just very strange how slow and methodical they were on a drive where you really have to have more urgency than any point in the evening, Kane.
So 49 seconds left here, and things are getting a little dicey again over in Selma as Stanhope Elmore now only leads at 17-14 at the start of the fourth quarter. So
wow.
I told somebody earlier this week, like we mentioned, I thought it would be a close game. Just Selma's at home and the letdown factor.
Did Selma start that game at 7 o'clock?
They did, yes.
Okay, so but they're just starting the fourth quarter.
Starting the fourth quarter.
Wow.
We've had, hey, listen.
We've had
some long games here, but this has been we deserve a fast moving game.
I think with the senior night thing and everything, we've done really well.
So 49 seconds left, fourth down here for Benjamin Russell. Cotney gets the snap, fakes the handoff. He's looking for the route over towards the end zone, looking for McGee, overthrows him, and it goes incomplete. That'll turn it over on downs, and that'll do it for this one.
Yeah, it would be 2 knees, and they'll be out of there.
So 23-7, Wetumpka's going to get out here with a victory. So Wetumpka, Darrell, does what they need to do. Just take care of business, let things play out here over the next week, and while they will end up playing. I have to pull up the schedule again. I think they play Selma next week. If I remember correctly, I got my map up or schedule up here, and it's all wet now for Purdue.
At Selma,
they are at Selma, so they're going to have to avoid the letdown.
But they've got to get some things cleaned up. I mean, the penalties, the letdowns. You know, they came in. They should have really in the first half could have run them right out of here, and they let them hang around, and need to clean up the personal fouls and some of the penalties.
So. Handoff here, Terrence Thomas, left side. He breaks loose and run out of bounds. That's got to be a late hit. There's a lot of contact over there.
Yeah, ran up his back. And the last thing you want to do there is run out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, turn it inside, get out of here, and go home.
But I know that Wetumpka loves their black uniforms with the Vegas gold, but they'll be having some red and black shakers next week for Opelika.
Yes, they will.
Yes, they will. Stanhope Elmore has to travel over there. Of course, they might be waving the blue and light blue and yellow right now for Selma. So 1st and 10. Handoff this time. Jones met at about the 47. That should do it. That should be our last play, barring a timeout.
Jones, the ball carrier.
Clock continues to run here, down to the 22 seconds and counting. And nobody should be it. They don't have to snap it again. So Wetumpka gets the bounce back win. 23-7 tonight is going to be our final score here on the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week here on the Montgomery Sports Network. Wetumpka, a 23-7 victor over Benjamin Russell, our final night. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back, wrap things up, get a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be back in just a moment here on the Montgomery Sports Network.
Experience the history of the first country music superstar and see how Hank Williams transformed country music and sowed the seeds of what was to become American music. Visit the Hank Williams Museum, nestled in historic downtown Montgomery, Alabama. The Hank Williams Museum is one of the top tourist attractions in Alabama. Museum hours are 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 on Saturday, and 1 to 4 on Sunday. And they offer group rates, AAA, and military discounts.
Montgomery's best country is on Bama Country 98.9 WBAM. Bama Country with Bubba and Christy every weekday morning 5:30 to 10 a.m.
We're gonna have a house party.
Bama Country, playing today's best country and all the country legends. Bama Country 98.9 WBAM. Listen to Bama Country 98.9 WBAM.
So we'll wrap things up here from Wetumpka High School. Quick wrap-up of tonight's contest. Wetumpka, a 23-7 win in a Class 6A Region 3 game against Benjamin Russell. It was the special teams early on. Brandon Bowman with a big kickoff return, Darrell, to set things up. Tyquan Rawls had a touchdown run. D'Angelo Jones had a 69-yard touchdown run on his first carry from scrimmage. And then we saw the nice catch by Rogers there in the fourth quarter to put this game away.
Well, you know, we talked about the offensive weapons for Wetumpka pregame. Rawls, Jones, Rogers. And they all three had a significant role in this victory besides the special teams. The defense played well, did not give up a touchdown. They bent, but they did not break. if you're Benjamin Russell, you've got to solve the riddle because you've gone 2 football games now without an offensive touchdown. I will say this, 13-0, Wetumpka was having their way. It would have been very easy for Benjamin Russell to get run right out of here tonight, and give them credit for how defensively, how hard they played. They kind of steadied the ship a little bit. That late touchdown by Rogers was really the only thing they gave up of consequence from the second quarter on. They got themselves back in the ball game. They never quit, and they played pretty hard-nosed. I think, obviously, Calera and Benjamin Russell, one of those teams is going to advance to the playoffs. Haven't seen Calera play this year, but Benjamin Russell acquitted themselves well tonight, I thought.
Yeah, and next week Calera will play host to Benjamin Russell, so that'll be a big road
interesting
game.
I mean,
yeah.
As we're doing the Catholic T.R. Miller game, you can bet we're going to have our eyes on some of those games. That's two big matchups next week that will determine playoff seeding, just a lot of things in this region.
So we'll take a moment here to thank our sponsors tonight on Montgomery Sports Network, Extermatech Pest Control. We thank them, the title sponsor here on Montgomery Sports Network. Call Extermatech. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Call 334-209-4590. ProtectingALWorkers.com. Workers' compensation attorney Matt Matthews has many years of experience litigating workers' compensation cases in Alabama. Call 334-721-4878. The Hank Williams Museum at 118 Commerce Street in downtown Montgomery. Learn about the musical history and life of a Montgomery man who is known as the legendary singer Hank Williams. Stop down there in downtown Montgomery and visit. Also, we'd like to thank Chris's Famous Hot Dogs from 138 Dexter Avenue. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs, taste the tradition. Call orders in advance, 334-265-6850. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks. Be sure to check out their decorative handrails. They are a work of art. Call Mid-State, 334-313-9015.
American Oak and More, committed to offering exceptional furniture at affordable prices. You don't pay with fake money, so don't settle for fake wood. Call 334-277-7793. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe. From their great lunch selection and the value of that to the tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something for all. Dine in or carry out. Call 334-274-1153. Industrial Specialty Company Incorporated. Since its inception in 1974, Industrial Specialty Company has built an international reputation as the premier provider of high-quality precision machine parts and assemblies. Call 334-277-2224 or visit www.industrialspecialty.com to learn more about ISCI. We'd love to thank our media partners, the stations of Blue Water Broadcasting, News Talk 93.1, 96.1 KISS FM, 97.9 Jams, Bama Country 98.9, Yo 100.5, Classic Country The Possum, 104.9 The Gump, and 107.1 The Vault. They are local folks helping local business. Call them today and let them help your business at 334-244-0961.
So we'll take a quick time out here on the Extermatech Pest Control Game of the Week. Once again, our final score, Wetumpka 23, Benjamin Russell 7. We'll come back with our players, our all-stars of the game here in just a moment.
La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe, located on Zelda Road, minutes from downtown Montgomery, is one of the area's finest Mexican restaurants. From our great lunch selection and value to our tablecloth and candle evening atmosphere for dinner, La Zona Rosa has something to offer all connoisseurs of fine Mexican dining. Come on down today and enjoy some great Mexican. La Zona Rosa Hillwood Mexican Cafe on Zelda Road, minutes from downtown. Extermatech Pest Control is a small, passionate, and powerful team. If you have bugs bugging you, join the Extermatech family and have peace of mind that comes from the expertise of a professional company and enjoy their personal service. Extermatech is locally owned and operated. They've been bugging the competition for over 15 years. Each and every customer is important to them. Customer service, their #1 goal. Call Extermatech, 334-209-4590.
We're not your daddy's rock and roll station. 104.9, The Gump. Montgomery's alternative rock station, 104.9 The Gump. The only radio station in Montgomery playing new rock alternative. 104.9 The Gump. Montgomery's alternative rock station, 104.9 The Gump.
I had a dream, a beautiful dream. I couldn't believe how real it seemed. Up on stage, in a field of green, on the winding river, and a song you'll sing. When I wake up, I'll see you here in Montgomery, where dreams come true.
If you're injured on the job, the law requires your employer to pay your medical expenses and cover your lost wages for any work-related injury. Employers and their insurers often try to deny workers' compensation claims or limit your benefits. Whether you're totally disabled and cannot work, or if you've suffered some impairment, attorney Matt Matthews has years of experience litigating. For more information, go to the website protectingalworkers.com. That's protectingalworkers.com. Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks Incorporated is a locally owned and operated business in Montgomery, Alabama. And we've been in business since 1985 and served Montgomery and the surrounding counties with burglar bars, ironworks. Our philosophy is being honest, dependable, and treating each customer with respect and selling a quality product at a fair price. If you need burglar bars or ironwork of any kind, call Mid-State Burglar Bars and Ironworks, Montgomery.
It was 1917. Charlie Chaplin appeared as the Little Tramp, Walt Disney graduated from high school, and Woodrow Wilson was reelected president. And in Montgomery, Chris's sold their very first hot dog. Move forward to the 1950s. Hank Williams was hanging out at Chris's. Up through the 70s and 80s, many stars and politicians discovered Montgomery's little secret. Jump ahead to the new millennium. Riverwalk Stadium, the alleyway, and the new downtown. It's now 100 years later, and Chris's is still serving their world-famous hot dogs at 138 Dexter Avenue. How long has it been since you've tasted the city's most famous hot dog? Make Chris's part of your family history. Still family-owned and operated, Chris's makes every hot dog and hamburger to order. Take Chris's to your next party or event. Call-in orders are welcome. Online at chrishotdogs.com and on Facebook. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs. Taste the tradition.
And welcome back here for our offensive and defensive all-stars of the game tonight. We'll start with the offensive all-star of the game, sponsored by attorney Matt Matthews. And that's going to be number 21, Keaton Young for Benjamin Russell, Darryl.
15 carries, 80 yards. Doesn't sound like gaudy statistics, but it's over 5 yards a carry. And against this Wetumpka defense, he was pretty steady, got positive yards, ran between the tackles. Those are very, very good numbers and very impressive numbers with how hard the young man ran tonight.
And on the defensive side, the Montgomery Sports Network Defensive All-Star of the Game, sponsored by attorney Matt Matthews, is going to be number 1 for Wetumpka, Colton Adams.
All over the place, made the big tide-turning interception on the goal line. Had some big plays in the backfield, and he really had to shoulder a lot of the burden after Nolan went out.
So we'll wrap things up here tonight from Wetumpka. Our executive producer, as always on the Montgomery Sports Network, is Stephanie House. Our technical director is Tommy House. Our social media director is Stephen Mock. On camera, we have Mr. Ron Simpson over here. We also thank Mac, the camera guy, for his support tonight out here in Wetumpka. My name is Kane Young, along with our color commentator Darryl Dapprich. We thank you for watching us tonight from Hohenberg Stadium, where our final score once again is Wetumpka 23, Benjamin Russell 7. Next week we'll see you at the Montgomery Catholic versus T.R. Miller game next Friday here on the Montgomery Sports Network.